Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriCell mobile money just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be $10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to $30,000. Meaning your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Traveling has never been this simple in the Gambia. Oh yes, you don't need to visit the GTSC depot just to get a ticket. Just download the Yona Wallet app today and enjoy hassle-free bookings. With Yona Wallet, you can buy your GTSC bus ticket right from your phone, anytime, anywhere. From Kanifing to Dakar, Dakar to Banjul, or up-country routes like Kanifing to Basse and Basse to Banjul, Yona Wallet has you covered. No queues, no stress. Just safe, fast, and convenient ticketing at your fingertips. Choose comfort. Choose convenience. Choose GTSC with Yona Wallet. Yona Wallet. Your money, your way. GTSC. Moving the nation forward. For more information, please call 1124 or 221-1668.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Looking for the perfect home away from home in the Gambia? Welcome to BC's Residence, your ideal short-stay apartment in the heart of Bundum. Whether you're visiting for business, pleasure, or an extended stay, BC's Residence offers you the comfort, convenience, and privacy you deserve. Enjoy spacious, well-appointed accommodations in a peaceful neighborhood just behind Nusrat High School. Our residence combines modern amenities with authentic Gambian hospitality, ensuring your stay is both comfortable and memorable. At BC's Residence, you are not just booking a room, you're finding your perfect base to explore all that the Gambia has to offer. Ready to book your stay? Contact us today. +220-941414. BC's Residence at gmail.com. BC's Residence, Bundum, behind Nusrat High School. Your comfort is our priority.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriCell mobile money just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning, your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times.
mala baraka atel me yalanko watel ka kerfato jibe politique kacha mi yalanko wala kanale na balbe tentu kan kal jeyal kal hajo bula nyame ka programme woni ka jibe atanyen la nyindo politique kacha le men ka siya kunna omo Ibrahima Jaralte me yalanko wala bem fe jang omo Mr Lamin Manneh te mi yalanko at la UDP la deputy senior admin secretary for external affairs ka fa baraka bake aka futam fi programme ro nyame koteke Mr Lamin Juwara omo political analyst le ka fa Juwara baraka ñin lokko fana aka futan fe programme o ñinto ñamen katel be ten to drop ko take anu wonyama fa nin jam fara kacha kono mbella enol yella tel fana yimi yalon kalbe jibero la pral salla miro fo programme o ñinto barbi kacha ñing akungo be tarra dending menna wala may ba tarla ko United Democratic Party ye press conference ko mande wala nin kibar talal sita ye ñatile ñola membe dending ko kamonta IEC kaytol mi yalon ko ye wolle bondi membe dending ata ñin supplementary registration mi yalon ko ye wolle ka UDP ye bulo chodi error la sikol mi yalan ko ye wolle soto bari naraje IECB e fanan fintita ka diamu ka la faro ke ko wala mi yalan ko UDP ay ya kanibul kunun kabiri be diamu ka wolen ka wuchoni la fa do mandinge pour crossiro ani sotar dal soto dame pour ka woldante IEC o kele bari fam mune fo yo ko woni wolende mane bi janne pour ka ko woni ka o fo molie bake bari fanam ibatar la ko mi yalan ko be kumari banko dingol nyakoto ka chabe keri nga ko woni na abe kono ECOWAS me yalan ko wole mo findula nyin tileji kafo nyinde ay tata Sierra Leone banko nyin kan dama yalonko mada biyo memo Sierra Leone na president ri ay sirantiya soto ECOWAS ala wucho nata na bang bar kabata la sirantiya wucho nyin nata bang inala sirango nyindi menna o mo Senegal la president le memo Bassirou Diomaye Faye wona la banku din Jamal Beji ay sula bake munatina Gambia la president memo president Adama Barrow de sanjitan say abeke kam wala sanjitan asbina wasila la president yatumo banko kanjang anana manke ECOWAS la nyin sirantiyo ño sabobe warari mbake membe dendi wo karola waya sabo fa ngaje bi cabinet minister fula minister men ka jibero ke funding ke wala ko wala minister men ka jibero ke kibar janjang wala karola Dr Cissé findita pour ka diamu membe dending president Barrow munati na manke ECOWAS la sirantiyote akuyo ay banko dingol sula bake ando mixed reaction lam molbe diamo kan kuma kangol mantra ka bo fanna kile na membe dendi wo karola mbe wajibel bar fana yalla ne ko ni wati ngol kono iba tar la ko political party la ni Gambia man sakunda fon Jamal Beji kuma kango bondi membe dendi Senegalese man sakunda wala ila sojarol mi yalla ko iko tara foni block Gambia sojarol la fenso iko wala boyndi atanyen la nyinto mo Jamal Beji akoye niyo tora bake man sakunda fa ya ko nyindo yale ka manya kela atanyen la nyindo Senegal fanan diya modale mol bije be la miro foka wo fanna nyina ñun mo kullede mi yalon ke be kumari banko dingol nyakoto baka no mbela fla nge kacha bake andu wonyama nata rat fo domandi mella enol fana yalla tel men kan jibe ngal bula alning al fana yalla miro fo membe dendi nyin ko wala mi yalon ko bina wala kajala wonyama men luntangol bula la wolto dom inin jibe la ñu ko ndo mismani abaraka bake murtanam programme ro nyamen ko reke
jara baraka bake kunta ndako reka murnan ko reke nyin kaka nyi sewo balete nanga bankol ko kacha nganyo so hakilo la jembe kara nyobulu so jiber lal ne lamar la mafala be la baraka ba ka wato min ta kan jibe wato wati ga kacha nyin ko to anen ko mandir lal fana kira wato ta ga ko dul ke je pour nga kacha katum bankol e wujinen ka ko ngal ko kacha ndam malu ndam ko sama do nyama la baraka ba
abaraka ba ke thank you for coming Juwara abaraka ba ke ka fuda programme ro nyamen ko reke
baraka wake jara mbe lamoy lal ni jiber lal be kontonna anem fanam be kerfatula management kontonna ne tafango mbelna oda panel so Mr Manneh kontonna bake ani gambianol minke lamoy molla over this political kacha mbe kontanta la pour kamruna again ka kacha sotondi kula sakato ma nyin tunkungol mimma nyanta min kacha so la quality mi alonko so nga kontan ko so kamruna once again pour ka kacha nyin soto
abaraka ba thank you Juwara Mr Manneh nga commencé ni tala nga commencé ni kula membe den Gambia be la kula walem ba president Barrow banko di ngodol wulta ka sulo yitande munata na manke ECOWAS la chairman odi wonata nanne kabiring Bassirou Diomaye Faye memo Senegalese president jindi kamonda leadership role ta mi yalonko walem pour ka ECOWAS la chairman odi mo Jamal Beji ye menje walem nyin chairman place woni fende mi yalonko Bassirou Diomaye Faye mammi akara president de 2024 da malem akara president de president Barrow yafo president fula damma tundo kanja wolle mitati president yasiran kan natale mo sabanjamode molbe jakalli munatina place woni amata ate mandiyam wala man sakunda fana mandiyam munatina imam place woni mota fo minister fula nga wolje findita ka diamu ila jaman la bambundaro bare kabiring Senegalese president ni ko wala ECOWAS la chairman ode fo ite fana nata sondo mo kono le why not Barrow munatina president Barrow man traji
non man so no ko kan tan kata soto no lon
o yalo na place on soto
sata soto la di
munam dalilo yete fe
yalo president fananno anata la mu club bu no lati e kam mo lata mi an ko yalo dira sa sambano kaso ekos do bu bala bije fosi ke moti mi an ekos sambano sa nyaton kayano wo ite fangla man kuto ka wala jube ya makama soto ba ya ro soto ba ya authority soto ba ya kama soto ba pour ka modu katandi nyola ka yim façon le taman ni yaji ko take yo ta dilela ma da biyo ya tarajal ada president yari ma da biyo ya ban tinubu ya tarajal ya bali adi tinubu la etc bijo ma fay nan ni bika diala ika sawun la because ya je ka mama ka mo le soto dongo dia ta kuto ete tala isla bika diala ni ngata ya lonka ta sambano la ita dila wala problem ni ka sawun la.
Okay. Akamunda mbajin quotation or from Dr. Cisse ako ECOWAS chairmanship is not a competitive election where president campaign against one another and the loser are rejected. It is a rotating responsibility assumed through consensus among member states. A country that is ready and willing to shoulder the political, diplomatic and financial burden can present itself and the decision is reached collectively. Comme ni memba vola mande ka ngora wala ako ECOWAS la nyin siranti ya nyi manke nyo saya kuti dama ya lon ko president wala ka campagne oke nyo kam kaje ko me ya lon ko fota koy manso wala ko wala nyimu akamunda nyo fu kala male mi ya lon ko fam me ya lon ko mol kambenta la ko wala e ka di wala la me ya lon ka be parering kaje ko ka dunota membe den politiko la tamandir nyala banku ni banku tema badi yala ha tamandir nya fana na karola anin duno na fulo la karola ni be parera pour ko lord la nyinta nin kambe on ketela ko wala sadila
o be mo government spinning la ko mo nyen la do wala mo don yes ño sabati je ño seyati je bari ño hormono ño buñale bije ni ya je koy te yenyim makamo so de sin sambano ka di wolle la president baron tol fangolu jambi ni man ta ño nene la ni ka be di amala bi ki jole ke fara be ay mu na fola ni ECOWAS di wala kaya tamandi ata sambano la makamol tabula londo tabulo na to nya fa ñoy dorom birga ke ta OIC chairman di nga mo na jija ay mo nekke man tusi ay binke OIC to birga abota meeting wala jaye minke jang ibika moy dulato ibika banta ku na OIC.
So how about the arguments that Gambia is a country mi yalanko we have limited resources na kodo mansia mbulo me ko ben assuming such a role pour ka ñun dunu sifata be duno la Gambia kan ando wasina batandinol bari be korlim fa wala sakon kanandu kudo kono mi yalanko waratale
president Jawara kata ECOWAS chairman to jana no before so mona tan bi ro takeno la kodo bi ba ko kam bi o jam president Jawara la time president Jammeh had issues because of ala military position and ala confrontational attitude and model wala ko problem otino barakata non OAU chairman ti jana no for OAU summit host jam so wala warata ECOWAS ti mona barobi ka sawun wala ka di model la baro man fahamo le ke pour ka banko fa samano sako ECOWAS wala ne ma diala ka ni a diala je bi mi nyanta kata keno la ni be ECOWAS samen to nyaara team la kata je ni mi ga do ko ba tle ko team direct tle ko lu samba ya slow ta je nga kete to le toke ba ni te fa mo keno e faye ita samba nola
so ba ni ajibe Dr. Omar Touré même ECOWAS president o bota Gambia la probably yes. One could say President Barroso fo e go bayri ma hakilo la ka nyambo si mbadu nga bulal bulu bayri nyim president ya place o bentel bulle man jari nga haraba ci amani ya
ni wala no bi jo ma fete kete president commissioner next president sénégalais la ni ta dira wala be bar bi jo ma la kete wala the new chairman of ECOWAS authority. The next one maybe in end of July maybe say Touré note for them Senegalese lete so Senegal for le so Gambia ta so no sa ko kabula nyo no ma fa bar ni aje ma dia nko ya lo
but ya mo ba di le fa na ya nyini la I don't think the president has wanted to assume that role
nyim bi ka nyinin abim fo le no se ya tije banko le ka si ya je ko kari la ton le musa ngadi kari la rotational mi yesa ka falen ño fu kala malem bari ka kala ma di mo le mi yaron ko asa mano mi ma samano bi ka di wala ni wonten nun e saw min kala ni saw nala nyame ba di latel president la tala ya tarajang e ka sawan la ya di wala anu hana bi jan nun fa no tennis ta di lala because ya ka ta samba nola e ko was sambo ko la ya ta bakele e ko was mu jani mali ni burkina ni naje bolaje banku tanni lula muno itela ko be nyaton kaya bi banku tanni fulala bi han kabi itela be nyaton kaya la itela be la policy design policy itela ba atamanda o sanju bumburun kono itela be decisional talaje ini nyindol ba itela ba be nyaton kaya la ko be betlari telekan so itela nyanta e ko was tala ya samba nyanta tala dami o sanju mume o kartanni fulo kono baro man Gambia sambano baro kamil fo Gambia jambina diamuta ministre min fa ka sey hol ka fot mudo ka skembe maloti fa wolle be keri bantal banko li kawlu jele ikale min bigata ba ko kan yalon ko ni ko ECOWAS mi to so ko ta ECOWAS represent ya fem fo no la je yolon ne ECOWAS disu interdiction tala police ñol attaque no la ECOWAS ñanta tala inen bank ñato banko dol ñaton ko le siye ka ca ECOWAS la ko ama so ama londo soto ama makamo soto ama kango soto wala ne ma dial ni be ECOWAS chairman yala fenne bi Africa ka mi ko heads of the REX regional economic communities sele Africa jam ECOWAS bi jele SADC bi je COMESA bi je EAC bi je Sensad bi je etc sele bi okay so wolu fanan ka benne sa wosan signafula ka discussion ka ila rex la regional economic commission bi sambala nyamin birembe African Development Bank to leka wolu organize no ni AU be meeting kala nga organize ni benje Kaacha e police will decide ni African Development Bank meeting kala nga yi sambana je fan ni singa Kaacha na police design so wol momo ni nata je ka sire ka min Kaacha ina mol ka min Kaacha wala ibe o sambala nyame ila regional e ka wala Kaacha den na ya negotiate tol sulata yen sine keno budgetol ya be discuss ya police discuss yol be Kaacha je ñomoy
so ite you think manke kodi kuwoti dal kama manke Gambia mo banko
for thing because ECOWAS le ka jama bi ECOWAS le ka o jofan bi bankolu kan ECOWAS bankolu be every moment be nyimba ko kanjang ECOWAS tax be ka jole okay nka o jole every year nga fe important ECOWAS ka tax law kan pour que ECOWAS tamande okay o ko lokata mi takata ECOWAS le so after the ECOWAS parliament ya talanta comme na parliament kam ko na budbité bon kam ko ya fo sagni nankamo o bita commissional o bita mandela wol nyindo o bita parliament o bita mala wol nyindo bita technical committees nyindo bita ECOWAS bank le nyindo pour president la tamo ne ala fonko.
So you think as long as President Barrow continue to be the president of the republic ECOWAS Germany ya ta sotola nkana nyone ne nga tonya fo nyoy wala be keri nga sotola Juwara yemune mira membe dending ñun ko wala coming ka munta Dr Cissé anim Bakary Badji wolbe dia mutale mi yalon ko wala be dending ñun ko wala because banko di jamal be ay sulale so manda Demba Ali Diaw adi yamutale ako askeno President Barrow amonyo president ol manji ko surala ko wala ako bayri kabiru kana president yala akabe sanji sawala kala saya fele sanji tanil lula la fakata wala ngine andun ako mu kulete mi yalan ka mandia African Union ye o ko mandia ECOWAS fana mi yalan ko walem manda sabanjam ko de akala inconsistency walem comme yekko fo jam yena ya falin o mu kulete mi yalan ka skeno amonyol man lanno so ni jiko so ala karola wala ya sabu fang askeno ay mal pare pour ka nyim makamo di yala bari Bakary Badji ate fanan taranung ala jaman la bambundato la ay même fo wala ECOWAS chairmanship is not a medal no a validation, it is a responsibility with cost attached. Walam coming ka foko drum ECOWAS la ñin sirantiya ñim manke mo mulungoti wala la mankuto wala ka itande ko ndabe la kutole ndamantre le kur ñim mudunolati me yalon ko nafulo ay wala kanin akamunda minister be diamula opposition be diamula Analyst wol fana be diamula mo be la miro foka ite mo muy tala miro wandi
jara comme ni na rajibe be kacha min soto kan over for president ECOWAS ñanta tombon na la fo ma ñana tombon na fo ye jikole sota la karola fo ma jiko sota la karola ni nata o be jibe ñin situation kono ndanga min karang from foreign policy perspective ni nata jibe pour ka ECOWAS ñaton kaya Gambia ñanta min equate la je wala munon tella interest out of this and most often than not foreign policy is not a tangible action. Sometimes eka foreign policy outcome jibele wotamo amanke ma hayma kodola karola komi ka ko mbenyim ko di karele soto la je. Sometimes ala bounce back effect min kana nam banko fankan might be intangible. So ninga o jibe within this ECOWAS la karola ka jibe since in 1992 ka bring Gambia famata ka ke ECOWAS fenkoti coming to 34 years. So what actually happened? Mineketa for 34 years mamarano, and it is rotational. So mukule te nyanta nyo nyininkala minna deep down kaje ko okay 34 years mbe ECOWAS kono mo active member in ECOWAS lati Gambia mo peace brokalti then in the era of Jawara over ECOWAS and democracy and some of those other issues. So nyo be sotota for bitema munati na hani bi Gambia man position nyimfenko. It's a legitimate question pro moli nyininkaro kala because mbe participate kanjele and mfana mbe bankola fanko dundi kanjele as well because nka contribute for our commitment in ECOWAS and other issues altogether. So Ninata Jeko for the timing, to me, Ngamirako is just ECOWAS just took up a strategic decision. Because Ninata Jibe at the moment, the crisis member ECOWAS Bulokon, Naketamba Jibekan, even for me, Basiru Jomaifai is a better pick than Adam Barrow when it comes to the subject matter.
Really?
Because yes, come on. The AES, that is the Sahel group, Ibota Jail. And ECOWAS be min fenke kan kaje ko murunang. And ECOWAS be will kanganyaka minna wolong on the ECOWAS protocol on democracy and good governance. Min passed in 2001 in Dakar. So more or less ibo kaitole takan kaje ko benil kanganya no la muruna nyami. Silanza ning mo beje abe fenkola. Now we are talking about constitutional term limit, which is in the heart of ECOWAS learning governance negotiation and other issues. It is abe kole ala puru Adam Barrow meeting some of President Adam Barrow meeting some of these leaders puru kafeko almurunang ECOWAS kan because atefanga some inconsistencies totally over mbesanje sabale kelaje mbenyina kelaje and other issues. So Jomaifai, who is more or less a more neutral player, and Senegal having a more stronger democratic system than Banjul when it comes to ila leadership, fenkol and term limits. So it's easier for him to be because Jomaifai laning indicate nata junale. Ko likely ni madabio botaje batela kelaje. Immediately ya sworn in ala first ECOWAS meeting, ye tax diala as a delegate to go and meet this AIS and negotiate with them is a muruna no nyami. So that was a responsibility that ECOWAS ya entrust minna. So it was enough indicator to indicate that ning nyimbe bolaje likely Jomaifai is coming against President.
So essentially, coming the subject at hand, President Barrow is a bit conflicted in that subject, and you find it very difficult to convince others because coming, even
at that, because Nina Rajibe, even when ECOWAS learning governance policy in pass in 2001, they were able to convince most African countries to accept the two-term limitation, except Banjul and Togo. And Banjul at the time, under President Yahya Jammeh, a dictatorial regime, as well as Togo, which was also under a dictatorship. Nil damale balantanu ka two-term limitation de la constitutional. Later, wo falling dol ketale banku dol muru back tale ila fenkol kang. So nin for ECOWAS ni be nin tombandiro kela, like most of them would say, Bakari Baji would say ala Honorable Minister Nying, I mean fala fenko is not more or less fenko. Yes, it is not a card in which alphabetical order long kafako ninkari bota je kari la nyantana la je o president kari la nyantana la je but fanang at every time ECOWAS authority of head of state be tombondirol kela ika political status quo njibe la an ya je ko ikono who is a better negotiator over ila problem obedami the problem that they are faced with.
So how about thinking it's an election year in the Gambia? It might not be a good idea picking President Barrow to lead ECOWAS at this point because December we're going to the polls.
But anyways, even at going to December at the polls, what would definitely happen when President Barrow assumes the office, it is the Republic of the Gambia that assumes that responsibility. Okay. So it's not President Adama Barrow passing. So even by December, there is a change of decision. So the mandate still reads with the Gambia to continue with that responsibility because perpetual succession lem. The Gambia will still continue to do those negotiations and therein. But kabring ako nying ketanga, a lot of people may be different position takanje, most especially, and one thing I would like to clarify, kabringa jibero kala I was looking at the 2001 protocol on democracy and good governance. Fole se keno kuti ba minse sumandiro keno foibe kare tombon na foita tombon. But that's not entirely true because Nina Tajibe in 2007, Blaise Compaoré was also a military regime and he was the chair. at one time of the commission.
I think even the Togolese president.
The Togolese Foye
exactly.
was also one time. So even Jamela argument, Kafako, he was definitely a virtual dictator, might not be entirely around it, because there were other military regimes that also enjoyed the chairmanship, even where there was a protocol on democracy and good governance as well. So for at that time, for Gambia la mantra nyini kambang, for whether still andu na keta ko tonya what other arguments other proponents will be min for kan ka foko okay banko nyina mang other leaders mang confidence le sotonto, then the confidence would not only be limited to President Adama Barrow as alone. It would also include even Yahya Jammeh as well, former President Yahya Jammeh as well, for them also not having confidence. And new wole fango mu kuote mi osabo, then sila nyale bije with our diplomacy in West Africa.
Ambassador Essa Bokar Si, yele mata ala jaman da bambana to say, I mean, this is simple. President Barrow is incompetent. Amando kuono, wala ne makije, ako because the OIC chair, Omar Telde, Middle East is in crisis. We have not seen the Gambia taking any exemplary leadership step. Mi yalongo Mosa Fono, Isa Chiano. While other countries are leading it, Gambia is taking the back seat. So he said there is no point in the president leading it.
Mimbije, ni na rajibe fang Gambia la foreign policy fang le weakness soto. Our foreign policy approach le fang weakta. Most especially in the past 10 years. That's the truth. You cannot, it's not strategic. Nga crisis jelle soto in our foreign policy just to manage one embassy in Bukakeno. Every time the crises are coming there and there. This also reflects on the action of the president in other position Abemil Azumla. So the lack of Gambia showing interest, I don't think they could say is entirely financial, because Ninketa chairperson within that 1 year, we could have certain intangible issues. Any Kodomin Dundije would be minimal over the attention that we could bring to Banjul during this period. Imagine if this was Banjul and Banjul is able to negotiate for this Sahel group to return back to ECOWAS within 1 year. Any president that strikes that, that's enough edifice in your bank within the ECOWAS brotherhood, and it will go a long way in maintaining respect. Even the Banjul Charter on the rights of African Charter on the right. The reason why they leave their headquarters here. Do you know during the time of Jammeh there were a campaign for your headquarters in Bondijam because of Jammeh's human rights record. But the international the African Charter is saying no. We look at the effort that former President Juwara have placed in making this particular charter a reality. So handling with all the records, the African Union still decided to maintain that. So it should be a pride.
Looking at this angle too, maybe President Barrow is also not interested in being a chairman for ECOWAS at this point. I mean, maybe he thinks he has more responsibilities to take care of back home. Thinking of maybe those are things he doesn't.
No, but now Fante, I will be very, very disappointed. If Ningolon Tonyad, I'm not interested in certain foreign policy action that could bring some form of pride and development to you. Mang interest wala. No, that would be difficult. Then why are we participating in such activity if we are not interested in taking certain leadership role and also certain fundamental role as a country? Because it is a question of our sovereignty. When we participate into these issues, it's a national pride that we are able to broach.
Ofanang Adiamota Bakari Baji on the same issue. He say one of Islam statement, but in just quote this one. Its present issue as stutter, countries must choose between spending money responsibly and taking on regional leadership. In reality, diplomacy doesn't usually work that way. Leadership within regional organizations isn't simply about prestige or title. It opens doors to stronger partnership, attract investment, increase a country's influence, and create opportunities that benefit the economy over the long term. Good diplomacy is often an investment, not just an expense.
Yeah, so that coming no point left for contact. Coming you see that okay, expenditure come on. This has also been an issue even with Nigeria at the early stage of their foreign policy pursuit. In those days, they put a lot of money into sending tax to other African countries and also ensuring that wole do ko and the kawol jonu minna we was more than what an average lecturer would be paid in the universities in Nigeria. They had a query about it. But what their leadership told them at the time is that forget about the figures. Investment on foreign policy interest mean can no. But ni nata jibe that paid Nigeria well, because Nigeria in the tone of Africa's representation, they use those connections, those expenditures that they have done in AU to get certain interest. So until we should not, it cannot be an argument or travel. There are certain unnecessary travels that are still happening. There are still unnecessary expenditures in government that is still happening. But we are saying, spend strategically whatever you get so that it would also shape our development trajectory. Okay. And the leadership would definitely shape our development trajectory.
Mr. Manneh, but as per UDP, like, you know, you are de facto foreign minister. I mean, not that nungo atala mansakunda walebe Syrian send them. And Juwara is saying there's a problem with our foreign policy. Tell us, like, atalla study to alla karandro man sakunda la tarambulo president baro e men nyatonka mung LSI fa leben na foreign policy that remain unfixed literally 10 years down the line honeybee there are problems me alonko itefi you know he could have done better but I'm on work because ngaje ambassador Esa Bokar Siko ambassador member Nigeria I think Office of the Vice President, Ministry of Foreign Affairs will be able multi ko nyanda ke mota kula le ebe kuol taman ni kanyame ni na banku nim banku tema badi yala karola memo foreign policy.
Come foreign policy le fonctionne in the Gambia. That's the problem.
But you don't have a foreign policy?
No, Masoto. There's no foreign policy in the Gambia right now. You see, ning asanum baroma la fijinanum at the OIC chairman yatala, which is even more prestigious than ECOWAS. Among ECOWAS staff because I'm sotole. Foreign Simbe inherited items family president. Accelerated kita president family plus soto. Among low carte five from family plus we already alone. So for democracy be otole. Bari ECOWAS chairman ya dialal. Biri si defana American benga jele. So ECOWAS Togo democracy ta nunje. Bari ya dialal. Guinea Bissau jang Mbalo. Mbalo was ECOWAS president. Guinea Bissau man more democratic katambe Gambia. Guinea Bissau man prestigious katambe Gambia. Bari na president mama makas mo soto ama horo mo soto banta ama competent soto ama doku no soto wala tne ma dial. Look, Jawara was chairman of the committee mediating between Iraq and Iran. Uja fata nyami.
Yeah.
But Jawara le taya yake chairman to mediate. Fumol ka fanyo Jawara ka about to be a lot of time be spend in time. Yes, but I mean someone jam prestige. Jawara ka mean prestige and in the side effects, the knock-on effects I mean for the Gambian economy was here back it. Tomorrow ni Iran na take territory. Investment from Iran, Libya the same thing. Saudi at one point, one of the Saudi royal planes was almost parked at Yundum Airport. Jawara was going on in and out all the time. So Gambia bank kisejo water, akajono mintole from Saudi Arabia, from the Gulf states, from the UN, from AU. Gambia
no, but I think Jammeh was also taking pride for resolving the problem. Is it in Liberia at the time? Is it Bissau?
He contributed in the Guinea-Bissau resolution of the Guinea-Bissau issue. He contributed. You see, ning aya taranu baro ya found proof no on the foreign international stage. Hani UN baro be kalifika taji.
So what kind of proof? Like it Allah ta kenyadi not a bantala like Allah ta kenyadi.
It I banko represent. Yeta ye policies for, yeta ye program ul sambanang, yeta ye mankol katandinyola, you take show leadership. ECOWAS B, ning atalaba nyaman, ntolu, we are close to Mali. We are close to Burkina. Ning nyenbe kere ni Niger not so much. Ning kwatumena AES station yodi bota ECOWAS. Ning atan ntolebe siri num president yala watumo. We will send the foreign minister Jikata start negotiating. Even without ECOWAS sanction.
Well, President Barrow once visited Mali. That was the early days of the coup.
I thought about Mali.
Well, I think he went to met the junta leader. Is it?
No, look, there is taman wataning kata phone call to swearing in and phone call ning policy direction of man killing. Ning taranum B. Atata I will negotiate no. okay atata ka nule kacha yalo warso tanum biri AES bankolu Mali, Burkina, Niger biri ye punish and at level of ECOWAS ila fewol fon bi kanano banko kan ye porol be soro mal no togol na labanta la poro yele lano bari ya be soro nano ninga tan tulu wato no na good foreign policy no straight away will go and negotiate for with those people pour que muruna ECOWAS ni me muruna fana ni cette relation beto soto they could have used the Banjul port to export and import. Our port is better than the Togo port in terms of natural deep sea port. But actually, Togo had developed back at Tamintol. But they could have used the Gambia port to export and import going to Senegal. Malika don't import Mali. We could have used that. We can a big benefit to Gambiano. Okay? You see, Gambia position in ECOWAS could have been leveraged because the chairman of the ECOWAS Commission, Gambian level. Yeah. Even though I problem the ECOWAS in terms of failures, now all but it is use no lenu. Not a policy BGM, foreign policy better. If you fana mutale ya direct, ya makoi, ya support, then wala prestige. Fana BGM Gambia can as a makoi no kuja maki no kote.
So, but one people wondering, like our former foreign minister Tangara. Immediately he left the job here. Kabra Dogwota, he is the special representative. Is it the envoy for African Union? Is it chairman or president for the Sahel?
No, he's an envoy. He's an envoy. He's not a president.
Yeah.
Look, Tangara found the same thing level. Tangara didn't have any foreign policy direction. What at the Beral Dokura Commonwealth Secretary General, we wouldn't oppose them. I wrote with Madi Jobati opposed. Because he doesn't represent the Gambia, he doesn't have the same kind of prestige and the same kind of patriotism for the Gambia. New Gambia during the Jamaica days and all that stuff, and that continued. So we don't want somebody like him representing us.
Your party recommended him for this position.
Tangara?
Yeah.
No. Usienu Dabo?
Well, that's
no. Usienu was neutral. I'm going to counter. I'm going to oppose him because I think this is a very bad move for the Gambia. Nyman anything sort of for the Gambia, me alone kunyenta sort of promote campaign for him. We could have campaigned for him. We'd have a lot of connections. We should have campaigned for him. But the bank campaign against him. But look, Gambia don't ite banamida ko si propose no Secretary General for Commonwealth. New propose no, we would have campaigned for them heavily. But not Tangara. Tangara doesn't do anything for this country. Tangara had no policy for this country. Tangara was just getting in and out. What is his policy? That was nothing.
But Honorable, I would also want to prompt this. At one point, Honorable Dabo was also foreign minister.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at that time, still, he also failed to deliver a strategic foreign policy during that period. Minnabi Abe government as minister.
No. That's not correct. That's not correct. When Dabo was foreign minister, that was when we put in the policy to join to Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, yes.
And to develop our relations with all other countries in Jamaica policy.
Right.
And to revamp the embassies and to appoint other people in the embassies to have more economic diplomacy. That was Dabo. The economic diplomacy and even
yet we did not have a strategic plain foreign policy.
I think when it's a strategy, you're referring to like having
because at every given time, Gambia kala foreign policy pasule, but aka pasule too sporadic. Abuka focus onto one thing. It's more or less reactionary. Ning opportunity nata they see, they hit and see what they would get out of it, and that has been constant. It did not even change even when Honorable Dabo was
that's not
foreign
correct.
minister.
That's not Dabo was the one who went out onto the economic diplomacy plane.
Yes.
I tell Tata, he negotiated the Jambur power plant, he negotiated the roads in Basse and the bridges, he negotiated economic takeoff of the Gambia. Yes. He was the one who also behind the Paris Club and in the round table, got us $1.7 billion. I tell you, behind all of that, pledge, yes, of course. He was behind all that. That is the economic policy, economic diplomacy policy to the Gambia. And the revamping of the embassies and bringing in more sanity and more systematic approach to certain issues in the foreign policy. The same thing with the American UN embassy at the UN and in the US. Again, rationalize all of those things. Open new embassies and rationalize some and downsize orders. This was what was happening, and he was starting to devise a new foreign policy
and
when
it
he was
failed.
moved. When he was moved.
So
okay, he was moved to vice president, who Tangara took over, and Tangara just messed the whole thing up again.
Okay,
but that was changed the entire outlook of the foreign policy in the Gambia in a very short time.
So, but Juwara, it's a part like are you suggesting like there should be a specific document? Come framework short of me will guide anybody who come. These are the parts that we should, because things continue unfolding in the world. When you said Gambia doesn't have a proper foreign policy, what are you exactly referring to? Like, is it that they don't know our targets where to hit, or there is no strategic direction? Okay, this is what we should be following.
Just 1 minute, no?
Okay.
Okay. For example, UDP today, we're in the position, but we have our foreign policy already. Okay. How are we going to run this country in terms of foreign policy? And that is extremely important. Ning taranung barola government yo posuno. B, the Gambia would have been at a different level in terms of our connectivity with all other countries within the sub-region and outside the sub-region. And that would have helped us considerably during the OIC summit. Yeah. OIC summit was a huge missed opportunity. OIC summit could have brought billions of dollars into this country in investment. Even pledges being Katanu for the hotel, what's this called?
Radisson
Blue.
Yeah.
Okay. Nawek la water plant in Sanya, the surveillance of our maritime area, the vehicles, the conference center, the airport, etc. All of that was on the part of would have been exactly we can leverage that. We can foreign policy bambandi and can economic partnerships bambandi
So, but the thing is, like some of the members in the OIC, they could take a commitment to say we're going to support the Gambia and during the period to have a successful hosting of the event. Along the line, they could also change their mind. Like you make a commitment, then other issues come up. You are like, okay, before spending in the Gambia, why not more Bulajang? Let me resolve our problem.
No, me problem moti. Me at the mulka ko buy is because nina the pledges ke yajiko banko bikata nyama. There's no economic governance. There is massive corruption. Turkey for the OIC summit. Tole Atlantic Hotel Sanu. Birin summit been asila. They sent people kanaje jube stela mintole. They refurbished the Atlantic Hotel and they put presidential suites for Erdogan and other people who were supposed to come. Your investment bal bekeje and they were coming to invest heavily in Iman Narcotic. The Saudis were putting hundreds of millions of dollars into this country now. Under the NAWEC projection, under the conference center, under the vehicles for this conference center, maritime surveillance in Morocco.
Yeah.
All of those were investment, they were pledged in 40 billion when the Lamin Manneh buy.
Yeah, politics.
Because you could sign corruption be doing kanane. Well, the 1.7 billion pledge for the Birinja at the Brussels round table. Muna fondi ofana because I want to sign in W negotiate milat need latal nun. Biriol buy to out of 1.7 billion, we had only $360 million. We don't do that. Tobiam Fortal. So pledges Kenya, all the banks is the same thing. Development banks will pledges like it. African Development Bank we pledge every year. But conditionals no kataje. Bejina dealer nyinke. Nima woke nga buy. So what can funding in Jamabala corruption or ban tabak na bankoka. Incompetence BJ. President form direction sort of no. Near the American ni malaka madame. Well, minister for the government, he was clueless. And what about Tonyati? He's clueless. So ni mole ujira kote. Ita kolo ni la bankoka na fatala.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
So tell us about foreign policy. Like,
no, sometimes minka keje yajala bankundi ngola koleala for them to have a fervent or a very clear foreign policy kafa kunga nyina safe nkatawole pasu because sometimes they don't have the financial muscle to push some of these issues into the international system. Obeka koleala, but to be strategic is to see at what given time the relationship maintain la ninjumale tema what benefit comes, and even signing out pledges in D. Your foreign policy would also, that you deploy, guarantees kodo nyimbinana nyami. So for the OIC, I would agree of all efforts that have happened, politically abetinya. Politically abetinya ibulu. Even one of the foreign policy blunder that the government did was on the issue of Azerbaijan and the issue of FENCO. Azerbaijan issue. Azerbaijan pledged some around 50 million. I'm not very sure with the figure, but around 50 million.
Exactly.
But just because the foreign minister statement they make around one of the conflict that Azerbaijan have interest, they decided to withdraw that. So even Hania pledge deal, idia monya ni manya from in the international could determine for ibe kodo sotolale for it sotol. So for us, we have been too sporadic, and for me, I'm not excusing it. Honorable Manneh would want to disagree with me, but I am a fervent believer that even where there has not been any strategic foreign policy movement over Barola regime, even while Dabo was foreign minister, that's my opinion.
That's your opinion. Yeah. So you think they could have done better? Now he's telling you they have for foreign policy, but I'm seeing people.
I would definitely want to read
to say, even. Sometimes you might have a proper foreign policy. The person may implement that too matters.
The rational actor is the most important person because the foreign policy be pursue through the rational actor.
Yeah.
If, for example, the rational actor fail to have the ideas, you might have the best information, but he cannot deploy it.
So you think that's what's haunting us right now?
We have that problem, no doubt about it. We have no problem also. So for the UDP foreign policy, I will take time to read. I will make consultation to see what they are proposing over if they come to government, how they tend to once I'm okay with that information, then I can dare say yes, whether it is strategic or not from that perspective. But our diplomacy, our foreign policy also have been.
There is another issue me along maybe dulka for kind of diplomacy for instance the West. Sometimes it's if like a fendo di molla, but they're trying to impose cool me along. They look immoral to us. Like in the adult in the chosan, let's say ni LBQ cool ni kotangol si walendi cool kudatola me along they attach it to a human right issue. Coming you need to accept those things they say we rather die, with hunger than accept those kind of things.
But I think also one thing I will ever applaud President Adama Barrow in his activity around foreign policy was our attitude towards that issue of even LGBTQ and other issues when the question is posed to him. Not answering the question is in the most strategic interest of the Gambia. Because kufulalem near position on ko ha abekelale. Indirectly at national level because the people are not ready for it. Okay. Ila intana fingo be crucify. But ni futa da follow with your other donor partners as well. Ni lota outright kwate kela. There are certain funds ebe minini kaita soro. So you need to find an alternative. Just like Jame did. Kabla Balanta West Bulu over this he ran to the Arab world to see how to massage those egos, to fill the gap in his development projects that he failed to deliver through those Western grant over certain conditionalities. Ibe milnatla over that. Wo bemu ila rational actor akaw understand yami. So for President Barrow, nying kwole na itra daring and among clear position ota, that is what is very strategic. I think so.
Jending bebola nying ECOWAS human sip nying kono. Like the government itself is fueling these speculations, like to say, President Barrow is not ready for the job, or they're saying he's not competent, Mampare la Kaacha and things like that. Because Ngabira Mansakunda, it can for what a Molla Mansakunda, and they're serving us and they la Kalo moment they will serve us to the best of their interest. So if not a cool if it is happening, I don't expect the Minister of Information to go on his personal Facebook timeline to respond Bakari Baji doing the same. The government could put up a statement to say these are the reasons because Hanitel if they are not specific. They diplomacy and but he made that low by the president ko bankola interest la ya wulinde ni dole kan wala ya sabo ama nyim place o nyinda matro be nyanda diamo ni
so even the response nyim fanga jibe normally the response of the state might not be on those social media platform of the said ministers trying to respond that they are also just putting up a counter measure against the information will be circulate so that they work with it until they would go and position and say let's find an explanation to this. So ngamere be time time le buy kang ebe sankang. The delay tactics is let's engage them online, bring another issues proof the state be pare la kafo moleko alternative. But I would be very very disappointed if the state kana kafo moleko man kodole soto wala na man nyim fenko nyini no for nearly more than 10 years or is outside it. What I in fact torn ndala mira robe nandami kabrintel nga presidency nyim pick of the secretariat that 4 years manyana banna. We did not strategically pick one of the year out of when Toure was there to pursue our interests as a result. I think that was a great opportunity. And the Senegalese were strategic about it. Yeah. President Diomaye Faye murung all these days around to even coming to Banjul and some of the African countries. He was negotiating for the fact that General Biram nyim position azum no la nyaming and also narate fananja keta the chair of the authority of the head of state, which is a strategic foreign policy for Senegal, and I know they're going to maximize whatever interest that is attached to it during period the ban.
Gambia and Senegal la relation nga menje wolam ni loku mo mbora men kono wolam Senegalese sojaro le ko wolle Gambia sojaro la fen so boy in fonyi mi yalon ko wakata moliye jikela tay bati man sakunda fon ya ko wonyin ka manya kela tonye rolem mi yalon ko fo ngaje alla pati yo fanam ali kuma kan bondi ali yal fan dem bendi man sakunda la lod dala ko banku ni banku tema badi yala karola nyin ko nyi nyanta banna ko dol beje mi yalon ko nyimmo boyin kangolte Gambia la kam foroya ala banku ya andum fenne mi yalon ko amanya kelanu ya meranu jannim bibe sila ngaje Minister of Defense bi adi amuda standard yala ka fo ye border commission ye wala soto mi yalon ko be do ko ke kande ñun sangol membe tambira pour kaje nane boy nin Senegal tima men koyta mol be ñinen karol natra nun ko wolem to ñade Senegal le mu authority la soto to override that process mi yalon ko abe larin ne foka pare ite ya mira monem problem.
Very good, but Janine, just wrong. Juwara coming for you. I just want to come bounce on that. I think I call our opinion Dabo man think on foreign policy. Our opinion, I cannot agree with that. He's entitled to that.
No, I'm not saying I'm thinking.
I think we should be fair.
Okay.
Dabo Minke on the foreign policy to revamp the foreign policy and to put us back on the foreign policy map is huge in that very short period of time. And I think we need to acknowledge that. And he changed it to economic diplomacy. I Minke it was huge. But I wouldn't stay long on that.
Okay.
Coming back to Senegal and Gambia and border is shooting. Look, Faraboy nyama ke bara wala nyama. Man nin kolka wala.
I agree.
Ning Senegal, we have constant contacts over everything. Senegal Gambian Permanent Secretariat nga lo wala kam. So that ning kwato problem nyanda sur la Gambian Senegal team. The Senegal Gambian Permanent Secretariat wuli ya ko tama ya ko Kaacha nga problem all solve nga continue. Badi ya tuntiema. Follow up. That's 1.1. Point number 2. There's a presidential commission. Joe mining Barrow Benta not long ago. 2 months ago.
Less than even 2 months.
Yes. So muna demo Kaacha biro to mono. I mean Kaacha. This would have been on the table. 2. 3. Ninyi fasol be kela. Hanata border commission BJ. Nim border commission may manyo moyno. The normal procedure what they International Court of Justice ICJ. You can discuss waleto. ICJ la momo yela case samba ntula border mun then ICJ yela experts will kina yana border check call be check na near decisional ta. Asike loi bu nyakan at kala semboti. Amam me we saw that case Nigeria and in Cameroon Bakassi Island.
Yeah, the Bakassi or
Bidun tanyola. It's at ICJ. ICJ ila molke na years commissioner ke yele inquiry school gabiri ye bandi iko Bakassi Island Cameroon le tamo Nigeria ko bisimila en sonta ko modi amo bantawle fe. But before that you must have keleji. But ko nyin kelo tente mo nafa nata National Court of Justice. Gambia and Senegal tema. We so close. Ning ayatara nyom position be caring. Nim border commission ma bang. Idam te ma bang. Nyintale escalate to Senegal Gambian Secretariat. Akawale nyam. Nous fanama banno ya escalate to the Presidential Commission. Isi ya ko Kaacha, solution sotaji. Bari kanana ka dunnan kana ka fensolu boy hane aya tara ko Gambia re boyta abe Senegal la bankole kan procedure le biye ka bola wala non ni mu fitina bondole de amanya na kala wanyama. I was happy that na sojarolu mar respond emotional intelligence yo soto je is sita e man kat ni fana campagne ni wulta kido fay avec ti ñaarol dino avec molbe fala je banko fulo de wali aman jari wala war bi gambi ñanta talale ini Senegal e si ñu ko kacha and solve it once and for all ni ma solve no yeta international jurisdictional ya ko solve je but ite sino la watu wata diata molye ye wuli min diata yake nka jere Senegal ka dunna Gambia kana ka mol areske samba that is what we call the theory of hot pursuit ning ibenyim Senegal banko kan ye kuriyak je bota dunna Gambia Senegal ye sembo sudle ka dunna fo kilometer sabanyon niya kata mari no bari Gambia ko inform la ni whilst they are doing that ning Gambia le fana Senegal kay ku ko wala mo ko wota na Senegal Gambia has the right kabural mari no ita bana ya ko somanda wuraru ta no ma science na ya ke abota dunta ibula no ma bari we dunna kan wata na fana you call him for therefore nka mole bay minana you inform them ni si mako no fana yali mako that's hot pursuit that's allowed in international law bari yin to malu ikawo kachale tenko kan.
So iba fokone faraboye je nyameng aybe baral. Do you suggest the Senegalese doing this because President Barrow is the president?
Yes, the president min data Senegal ka wala kanu ay maki bulol kono non min data maki ka wala kanu maki ya control le non. Look, ta state house that you baby wala ka Barrow kanta Senegal ka kanta wala ka na poro control jambi Nigeria wala ka na airport sorry na poro famus Ghana Nigeria airport Nigeria. So bi Barrow la security be Senegal le bulu na intelligence be Senegal le bulu so aba fam fit no nyaadile abulo be d'accord.
So government ye press release me alon ko ye wala bonde mo jamal bi they commend them said that was a tough press release that they're not going to joke with our sovereignty and our territorial integrity, or you think that wasn't a serious press release?
It's your phone only na dia tem nyamen don o mo how wolati we look now we ka how. So then B, we should have had a delegation Gabon Gambian Kata Senegal straight away. You don't even wait for them to you go there, you call in a discuss this. I'll see a Kaacha. Mafwe kido talenyo boom. No, I'm more nafa. But fill a delegation to Senegal immediately. Barrow should have picked up the phone. Michael, what's happening? Are you aware of this? I'm sending them Kaacha. And they solve this matter.
So, but this came like this happened like literally a month or less. Covering, in presidential council, you can remember some of our technicians were in Senegal for 2 weeks, discussing about Senegal relationship in trade, investment.
Yeah.
How comes after that, like just low curriculum, well less than that,
exactly. But Hanate ma discuss to more. Janibe wula nan kanana njang, inyantale e Gambia inform. Nyinyi nebe caring, and ya discuss. But there's nowhere me I send them in Gambia, in Gambia discuss Gambia ye bang, manyana maparika implement what ya te. There's no indication of that anywhere. So membe caring B, ning ayatara, mbembiranga kul put together. Jomai natajang amame. After presidential council, when he was lobbying for the former chairmanship of ECOWAS, and then Biram Jobla chairmanship of commission, presidency of commission, and I thought we discussed that. Monat nanyu kolban discuss biro tumo. Problem job jande nyantranga Kaacha. Okay, o manke. But again, kodo liol je asiya kilo jamfandi do manding because suluta meta barem kumbota. Nga jele amamme Adam Barrow tata Saudi Arabia. Anim Macky Sall ni mbalo sita je ibe Kaacha je. O manke just coincidence. O be president on for president ko lu Kata ko nyim prepare protocol le biye. So yeyi la ko agreement ko ka benje Kaacha. So
So, but when the president was leaving, the State House said he was going for Umrah.
Yes, Umrah.
So all of a sudden we see the president with these two former presidents. So
of course you coordinate. You coordinate. Come Umrah. You coordinate. Those people don't travel just like that. You can plan and everything. This is protocol look at Tamaji. So Iban Tao Nyamado ye Benji Ronyo just like that. No, I'm not going to plan.
Why did you want to
you plan? Yes. Okay. So and we call Natambalo Yambalo Natajani Maki. Mbalo le tarta Guinea Bissau president Yalbira Binabola election ola I found coup d'etat. Azara Kabisi Senegal Usman Songa Janteng. Azara Morocco. Okay? Gambia will come into elections. And Mbaro Yala Kaboilale. Is this a way of starting crisis in the country? Purka state of emergency declare uka kudo. You have to reflect on all of those. Of course, Baro knows that. So, is this a way of preparing for something? I hope not. I hope not, really. Bari ita discard no la fayo fana be jube. Baro be tembo minto bi. Ning ayata la problem ba nin Senegal tema. Anim makibi tembo minto. Anim makini sorry, anim jama bi tembo anim joma ni makila teria kuto. That should have helped them can you solve. Not Canada kaduna kadula take fitino bondi. Okay. But in meta njelal de Senegalese army ikadun yane ka mol mutake samba. Even alkalo ya mutaje na ya samba. Na ulbeji janne. So na mitana ngba kelo ko nyaadu. Okay.
Juwara, Senegal, la Ministry Bunda Amenka Jiberoke, Kamengo, Ministry of Africa Integration, Foreign Affairs, and Senegalese abroad. La press release, you know, in Fanale Karanako, the government wishes to recall that the area in question has been the subject of discussion between the competent authorities of both countries for several years. Senegal has repeatedly drawn the attention of the Gambian side through appropriate channel to encouragements affecting the territorial integrity involving the installation and activities deemed incompatible with the cooperative and respectful management of the shared border. Despite the sustained high-level exchange and long-standing negotiation, these discussions have not yet led to a clear commitment to a lasting resolution of outstanding border issues. It is again this backdrop that the incident of July 16, 2026 must be viewed. It cannot be interpreted as a reflection of any intention on Senegalese part to undermine the sovereignty of the Republic of the Gambia or the excellent relationship between the two countries. Rather, it is a part of the border situation that now calls for a prompt and lasting response.
Ndaga mira la minister nya nyanda tala di UN Charter Article 51 read la now read at nying tilimbali akumo fala. Tilimbali ale. The highest disrespect kabrin Gambia afanga soto. Independent no soto. Ning Senegal relationship tema is this block incident. Yalna before 1984 niye Professor Ablai Sen la buko read the third wave of democratization in the Gambia. Read. It will tell you before 1981, Senegal have never complainedly killed a strategic security interest for Gambia. 1981, kabringa weakness also to Jeffrey Sachs coming for Bankol nal sutiata nyola dron. Alka strategic foreign policy interest le soto nyokan. And Bankol katra nyo jibe kan anytime you are weak, they push their foreign policy agenda.
Ni
lamfuta wato min na dro tamo la itel ka fenkota 1981 ka bring coup ketajang we were weak because we did not have a standing army at the time and we need defense protection against Kukoy Sambasanya na declaration for a communist state through Marxist-Leninist ideology where Senegal from Kijo Faral walatin what Juve at the time jumped into to put up an intervention. Kabe intervention no soto duntan na territory kono. They started spinning the security interest that they have over time. But Jawara having the wisdom at the time, ya je ko nyim confederation no ni nyim min soto na continent na jam fata nyin na drong ibinankela di 5th region leti. the 15th region in Senegal.
Il a fait banco annexe.
Il a fait annexe là. Technically, ben fenkela le fo yenna sovereignty contain. Hanni ngam fang soto, but nte fiti no la Senegal bul. Jawara ay fiti no ma, but ay fiti no ma strategically. Because a human capacity deficiency was there at the time. Because ning handing a military kono jibe, ila military la Karango at the time and other issues, handing a amalgamate, they would still be the people making decision. Ningan na executive full fan amalgamate nyokan, our ministers would only become deputies. Kabrin Jawara ejeje along Abdou Diouf calculate. Along ko there was too much pride in Abdou Diouf. Akita ko president ya nga rotate. Kabraka nga rotate rek Abdou Diouf, even Jawara was not ready for the rotation. He was just saying it to trigger Abdou Diouf balanta raka wotanta mum fansum bankolti nganda bondi confederation ko non Abdou Diouf ni wo kam fasita Jawara kan ne throughout wala na 1994 kabraka papa ko internal issue lam data je. Because he thought President Jammeh and his team were vulnerable, young people nata he could renegotiate with them. Jammeh become a tone in them because I fear la nyorito. Even where Senegal thought could the advanced military, Jammeh ebula in a dilemma. And Jammeh has done a lot of work when it comes to intelligence, even infiltrating Senegalese intelligence at certain level. Senegal had a better intelligence was way advanced than ours, but Jammeh also managed to tame them. Jammeh would make very blatant statement against Senegal. Kafe konale na border cross. So who told them nim border issues ye problem soto? The best way to solve it is to use your kinetic force. Ka military nati ka sound je where negotiations are going on for ICJ mantraje.
So but some are saying the Senegalese said the Gambia authorities only engaged to the highest level and the mankuke kuonyinto and we made a car for the word landing of Senegal lekono mansakunda la load la tabali aje wale bulanya.
But silan sayang hani en independent no respect la according to article 51 communicate the Gambia government e mampare respond la. There are known military force to settle that. Dunia mam fo silo le se o problemo nying fenken jarano nyami.
Okay.
Nse kafuno nyomale let them go to the ICJ. Let the ICJ deliberate over the issue. Ni aje ko this particular land was encroached by Banjul, they will make a judgment anu ngaji be mpa fenken wala nyama nyata nyami. If for example relationship min ni tema to nyalam, Senegal pareta no minna like I would agree with Honorable Manneh. I definitely congratulate the military for the kind of discipline that they have put across. Because why? At the moment, intelligence disarmed. Our military itself infrastructure is so weak. Captain Senegalese all nata even in 2016. Yeah, the new problem of Bay 2016 la in past effect. And President Barrow could not manage it. Ama manage no. He has the opportunity to actually solve some of this. At 2016, more your negotiation with Senegal, you will still be vulnerable because at that time the Lewicta. We needed intervention. But we were not strategic in some of the negotiations that we have done. Why was it not that Nigeria to be responsible of the security of President Barrow, which is more advanced than Senegalese military? Muna na madi no Nigeria. But Senegal ever want that close proximity. And nga naivety minke fonga silo dila foi duntana na fenkoto na Bangkok isita to the presidency. Bi intel sa kullo juma dintel be kachaka kamunta be kachaka in Dakar. Whatever secret mean for at state level intelligence collection things that reasonable Gambians should not know na nyaton ko lenyan tawolon na because man sakuda katama kulol wo kulon tel ka fo Senegal la salo kon.
See, if you allow me now, I just want to say a few things on that. The Senegambia Confederation, I worked in there for 3.5 years. I was at the presidency in Dakar. And Senegal, in spite of Mumbekafo, did a lot to change the situation in the Gambia, to make it better. The Confederal Army was financed entirely by Senegal, virtually.
Yes.
The training of our people, they trained that to create a respectable security force in the Gambia. They worked to enhance our intelligence gathering and to train our intelligence staff. The downside is that our intelligence was enmeshed with the Senegalese intelligence, and to date is still there. So they have a lot of intelligence on us. Yes, that's true. But the development projects that were being pushed on the Senegambia were going to benefit more the Gambia than Senegal. including development of the port at the time, which was being discussed, and a railway which was going to go from Banjul to Basse. Terencilo. And then movement of the goods down River Gambia, Katafo Basse, create a dry port in Basse, so that Milbe Senegal Oriental, Eastern Senegal, and in Mali, they can come there, get their goods from there. So that would have been a huge economic impact for the Gambia. The Kuwaiti Development Fund we were working with them to finance a lot of projects in that area, Basse, Basse Velingara, and this place in Senegal, Kolda.
Okay.
We were working on that to have a road network there, and a lot of things were happening on the Senegambia Confederation. The Gambia government at the time, well, let's be frank here, because here, it's very easy all the time because Senegal blame for some of our wars. Namolu drag their feet. Nintara confederal negotiation, confederal parliament, confederal government. Our people come near them and go, no, we'll do that next time, next meeting. They do not come prepared for anything. Only the one that impressed me.
Even representing the Gambia or both?
No, they employed people from the Gambia and Senegal who worked in the confederal ministry. I was recommended at the time to Jebes Langley, who was the Secretary General by the outgoing CJ Hassan Jallow. They interviewed me and they told me that I want to work in Senegal. So we're confederal staff, not Gambia or Senegal, except that when it came to training, Senegal trained the Senegalese, Gambia trained the Gambians. But even that was not implemented. My studies in the US and in the UK were financed by Senegal. I was at the Confederation. The Gambia come on the phone and Fujang, and then a scholarship, and I signed it, and then I buy it. Murta Senegal, for the Secretary General at the time, Pierre Diouf, they gave me a scholarship from the Senegalese quota, USAID. I went to study at the University of Pittsburgh in the US. When I was going to UK, I came here, by Senegal financing. So they were doing all of those things to help soar up the Gambian administration. So you will try it. So it got to a point when you saw the Gambian government and the people were getting nervous. If I'm going to Senegal, they're going to swamp us, the new year, proposals were made. Why don't we widen this confederation? Bring in Guinea-Bissau and maybe other countries so that it's not be a malo between Senegal and Gambia. Other people. Those could have worked. It's beginning of an integration in Africa. And Senegal and Gambia being so close, etc., we could have had that. Ninga Senegal, Gambia, the tendency is that no Senegal, Senegal, so that's there in the Gambian psyche. It's difficult to handle, so we have to find a way around that. But Senegal, they have highly trained people in the government.
Right, indeed.
That was the challenge.
That was the challenge.
Nina Molni Sita, intellectually they were dwarfed. Hanika be wole bije.
Yeah, sure.
Hanika be wole bije. Sure. When you have the Barola government in Senegal, Kaacha, there's no match. So we have to develop our human resource potential, put in Kachano on level terms. Doya Martin Naife. Look, Qatar. Bring a World Cup organized. The West was going after them, they're Islamic, they're this, they're repressive, LGBTQ, LGBTQ, etc. All of those things were happening there.
They contain.
But because of economic position and because of diplomacy active, they managed to contain that. World Cup kataje, fa banta, mama LGBTQ, tufkofuye, ikobe minkela gay pride a manke. And I'm not standing at here. It depends on ila position or ila economic position, ila diplomatic stance, wala ka will be falling. Ninga also to no Gambia numbi. Jawara means start no. It was not perfect. No. But it was a good move, they move in the good direction. Ninga will pursue no be for la wanta numbi. What that was started, Ninga for pursue no. Biru Tangara will pursue no and I developed further. We have been talking about something else. These are the things we need to look at. And be Senegal, Gambia, if we put in place the mechanisms that we want, Newton and Roy Fenso Boy, they would have called. if we have a good diplomacy, is constantly in touch with because Gambia and Senegal, we have to work together. We have to be realistic.
But the thing is, that's what they made us believe. That they are in touch. The diplomacy and the relationship is very good, and nothing will happen in Senegal without not consulting the Gambian. But that's what ordinary.
But even when all these efforts are happening, Senegal, he said it, Honorable said it. Senegal Gambia Secretariat Luminel. When some of these issues are coming, we tackle them. But if Senegal is not respecting those, that's threatening. That's threatening. And they Syria control means on the weakness of our state house. They control more or less our security. Our army is weak and they know. So that was why Imang dam block dam mala. Come in block dam mala on aero. But come on, we are here in Jimbala, in Salum. The activities that are happening there. The Dasilame, in one of the Dasilame negotiation border Fenko Fangato, do you know us as state in data for J, we could not show our boundary map? The Gambia government, yes. When the Dasilame border issue was a question of dispute over it. So, from Fananga na security na independent, anytime ye dabula into an international organization, ila sovereignty ka fenne bondije, pro aetano. Even in the Senegal or Gambia. For o Senegal or Gambia organization or bula a fan soto aka Gambia aka fen fono Gambia ka tuje aka fen fanam fono Senegal ka tuje ka tu ngawle fom pour IMB interest pasu collectively.
Exactly.
But it's still saying ni kana sound mechanism sol bela and in order fen kolika wuli kana ika low with your kinetic military force kana iman civilian infrastructure ma yena military infrastructure la fen so mutaya boy. Sembo can we using your military fenko? That's threatening, and it is disrespect from all diplomatic channels. Nga min soton nin Senegal tem. Ndel nga mirantel nin Senegal tem. If that brought because nte kar no la nyola. Ndel te kar no la nyola. Fonga na interest pasule. And if Africa by 50 we talking about integration, ni musila nyale for moving forward from the integration sort of like. Because maybe the state might have goodwill over that, but the citizens. Milieteke president did not feel secure over their own territory. And once you more territory ya independence it becomes deeply rooted.
Malum for a privy to see the Minister of Defense, his reaction on the standard be member in the Nyankola. He said he called for maximum restraint and to avoid escalating the tension. I mean, Molia down and they're going to solve this problem. I have followed Silol me alonko wole belari.
Mkajela Kabria appoint Defense Minister la rumum beke kan koma man qualify katraje. Ntenga incompetence leje in his speech. For us, I think we need a better defense minister than this other issues. Akamin for mole amantel Gambianol konofa. Ngolofe until average Gambianol among konofa. And the people living in the borderlines. Nyimanke diamote mi alonka datita bile. The National Assembly member did a whole lot of work. Around even early days, we have had in one of the speech of Honorable Halifa Sallah warning the Gambia to settle these border issues between us and Senegal.
Exactly.
So that we maintain our sovereignty. Obe man fail. Al fail taka obeke. So even in Senegalese o kafante ko fa yete inform le man fenkeje. Come on, it's easily to believe. So funga sile nga hadlonko na keno wo munna fenkola. Jara hani amanke banku koti. Na problem ol jama kombo kono minati. Kari na keno le ma. So it means it is deeply rooted. Aka jamfa amaritole. Surtuntel Gambia fangola keno. Amange Gambia no fo bantala banku dole kana kasapakang block inside block ite ka fo be Senegal alfal bi jamil man faaye border boundary long ite ma kabring janintel fangol bebe fangol lonna as a country as Senegal and as Gambia.
No, in addition to that, there are colonial maps that are there. Okay, ning efficiency budget. That Minister of Defense should have been speaking to Senegal a long time ago.
Yes.
This would have been preempted. Okay? Look, Gambia and Senegal, we are condemned to live together. We are condemned to work together. Ning bega along. Nga fere ke puru na banku furu le doko ke no nyo together. Mbira la fale bije. Jamme Senegal ka fo Senegal because jamme ta muneke Fonko the rebellion in Casamas. I will the finance and use it as a tool against Senegal. That doesn't go well for good relations.
Yeah.
You know, Ni ibakela nyama, you can do these things differently. Nga siga kacha nga nyombo nga put in place mechanisms. Senegal government secretary lota wale kama. The council lota wale kama. Ali kacha, and you talk to each other often. You see, ninga aleman kacha, the suspicion is going to continue, is going to build. But I think
kacha is on going. Kacha kita reaction narana. More, I don't think it will be a good idea to blame this situation on lack of discussion. Like we frequently not in touch.
No, we are not. That's what. Look, give an example. Not only IEC, we've been fighting a lot about results and everything. But we are Gambians like them, and we have to safeguard democracy in this country. We have to work together. That's why we made overtures to them bring the new administration in IEC. And we have open door policy. Come on, Kaacha. Ntata J, who said that led us there. And from then we've been talking, trying to find solutions to Gambian electoral problem only, because you have to discuss these things and find a solution. Senegal and Gambia, the foreign ministers of these two countries should be coordinating their policies.
Indeed.
The defense sector, they should be coordinating policies. The maritime sector and fisheries, inter-coordinated very closely. Because we are condemned to na bafu no bena kiri nyobala. Na the foreign policy te fono la nyokoma. Na health policy te fono la nyokoma. Birin COVID sort ni Gambia man COVID man bataba because Senegal le mun na external border. Senegal le protect from COVID. COVID min kan na nyata nyaka dun Senegal le ka block and they took care of it. The few min na airport la wole matandi. So amanje kombe Senegal sikarega ke fent no ni be sire Kaacha like two sovereign countries. Na Kaacha nga nyomoy and the police will coordinate. We are two different countries. We have to accept that. Two different countries. Gambia, Senegal, Senegal. But I'm bad on the careful obey. Kaacha, and we find solutions to the problem.
Okay. Really, so Senegal will only pursue what is in the best interest of Senegal.
Yes.
Likewise, in Telfana, we should
pursue. One of
pursue.
the analysts, I think, at a problem then about the Gambia. Na program dole ke memfo at fe even Gambia hani ambassador or higher commission coming appoint to Senegal wol mum mo let mi yalan ko ama fo man do ko no bari bulo man ko ako Senegal jibe e ka mu high commissioner sifa ka wala kina Gambia mo me yalan ko meta do ko wala in the foreign service fa meta e ko wol faham e ka wala kina but tel la jang si mo jibe
I will tell you one thing for free. They are most experienced diplomats. E ka wala release nan to Banjul.
Not just to Banjul. Can I just say a word on that? Senegal, they have a school which is called ENAM.
Yeah.
And now it's called ENA, National Administration School. That's why they train ila judges nyolu, ila diplomats nyolu, ila finance officials nyolu. It can be trained to a very high level. And total diplomacy, explore a dumping ground. Mili failed and kawale sambaje. Amune jang, sirifo sonko nyolu, brikama irekabso, when the JB mess up, ya sambajan. Na embassies be fari wolle la me ko failed ko sambayte si liggey pour gagner la they are not trained diplomats, they are not competent. Senegal la embassy to motar la je mi ya lonko amanke trained diplomat, few political appointments ko so jere baramansia. We're talking of economic jam. When economic was coming here, I was in Abidjan at the African Development Bank. The Senegalese ambassador in Abidjan at the time, Abdullah Souran, was my classmate in law school in France. We worked a lot at the time and in coordination with the Gambia. But what I'm saying is, Abdullah Souran, he comes here, now I take him to Mr. Abu Katayata Konto. This guy, like me, studied law to a high level, and then he went into diplomacy. Only foreign Senegalese embassies, and it's all over the administration. Senegal, you get more trained to a very high level. When we are going to university, I was in France. Bring a bachelor's bank. Come back and Analyst scholars could say we have a job for them. We went to do the masters paying for ourselves. Senegal, as long as you are passing your exams, they let you continue up to PhD if you want. And human resources training and they will tell all policies that you have this education and skills development. And I'm all trained. And then they can negotiate with Senegal on equal terms. Senegal respects competence.
Yeah, indeed.
Nitati you never negotiate. There was this guy, Dr. Siddharth Job.
Yeah. No.
Dr. Siddharth Job was a friend to even Senghor. They loved his competence, his intellect. And if you have that possibility of working with the Senegalese people, I worked for 3.5 years in Dakar, the presidency of the Senegalese Confederation. They respect competence. But namole nga jibe military ila commission dol nga at one point bri customs issues to no military je kata negotiate. I went to Senegal afterwards. Mais sen guy est-ce que xam nañ li ñoo def? This is what you're talking about.
It's sad.
Yeah. No, I think in a broader perspective.
At some point, I was asking them, you know, sometimes coming you more many like coming managing where school say some of these people will say Nintana Karambanda ni be at the same school they say.
Of course.
Why are they more strategic than us? Is it that they are more patriotic than us?
No.
And, you know, you look at
you see the advantage of that. I was talking with Abdullah Surang and we were communicating with Maguette Sey, who was Maki's diplomatic advisor. So through my contacts with Abdullah Surang and our discussions with Sey, Maki's diplomatic advisor, we managed to do a lot of things. I wouldn't go into that. Okay. But these are the things we can develop, we can cultivate. We have a lot of Gambians, very competent, very...
But I definitely add that the Gambia government is working on with Korea to definitely get a diplomatic school over certain things. Diplomacy advanced which is also, I think, if it is happening, they should speed it up. But problem like the guy is telling you that's true. I think at one time, the ambassador here was the dean of the faculty of law at one time. In there, so they're very strategic in how they deal with us and what they do, and sometimes coming for in capacity deficiency long coming for counterparts, even albe negotiation, even during negotiation, when they come, they are prepared. They will come with every evidence that they are to negotiate with you. But the last side sometimes is sad in how we respond, and that's also. But however, with all that happening, that cannot justify Senegal la latest using kinetic force.
Of course.
There are measures that are still there. Gambia should have confidence in those diplomatic measures, likewise Senegal as well. If ananyanta confidence in those diplomatic measures, and our rational actor President Adama Barrow should be fervent onto that.
Okay. Janding balainol jilla quickly. Allah parti yo press release like kunung UDP sorry press conference kunung puruka diamo membe dending alias fula ko men soto IEC provisional list mi yalon ko wala bonde molto be membala ngajele IEC katabo kono dal ifana yal jinkanne ka wato di mi yalon ko wala be denni alla sotar dal alla faka men yitande ko wato nyin sudi yalla ifana yalla fa ibe ye danko wo commandro nyinale mo jamal be je ba foka ne ko IEC ba pareri pour ka carte feo ka siya kunna mentilinta même fanan tonya yata sign IEC te be jibe kanya, and do you trust them?
Look, in God we trust, everybody else we control. IEC ntolenge kirisa banko betino bari bi ko masaka falling ntolle fanam hanyita ka finti ka ko min lafte min ke bolo ke kan sign mi sembo min ngaso pour que criticize wala ken kan far lodi fanan ne ku kendo ko pour ngafo manyana si ron ke kaja fitro wala ka ko fu ka fa e kuru ya min ne kuru ya nyanta folal ba ne ku ke min si nyanta fanan folal IEC na 2021 election problem ol be IEC ba kunnale parce que IEC ko mi je bi e ko master ka do ko ka nyamin wala fo contre man la fa le mo man la fa la UDP kan wala mo kan so la to nyale kan ni loi. Okay, ninga lo kan dalbon problem soto janni electional be sila supplementary voter registration Ousseynou Dabo ay ko manda ko lafsal nal singa kacha ka ko waf upundo police al dana kacha mo nata Gambia jang any political party government position to mo mo be kacha ko bismillah ni Ousseynou Dabo delegation lead ala ji Dabo na minority leader for cham na nam for sane mentoring Motsar, not representative at IEC, and INTE, and in the IT team. Ntata jen nisi tan kachata. 2.5 hours mije. Juma sala wolo fala na danda 2.5 hours la. Problem baby caring nga fon ko nyinni nyene tat na gal ka criticize no. Al ka nyinni nyene ke silanten luwanten. Biel ko falental bismillah la fawla moyla. Ntul mankali jawti. Al manken jawti. Ne jen kal criticize kule ka tamanu mimma ka silote ni nga lo bula be do ko ken la jokan because ni UDP sira wati minna ni institution be ni do ko kelale gambe di wala mun gambe institution lem so nga fere ke ngi tamandi min si mobe nafa malla fi IEC tinya malla fi auditor general office tinya malla fi governor central bank malla fi lafta fi kule tamanya inspector general of police chief justice abe mo gambe de wala na place lebe bulun ke jonna ko do lela nke bula do ko min na lafta do ko ka nyama so IEC son tan new ka chalu soto bring election o banta janabi siran ka chata ni for ni registration ko lafta nga taraje every polling stage registration sen lafta nga taraje iko ni okay mo kin diral labe ko hani lafta mo fulal ni mo kilin ke je ne lafta jon compte wala lafta do mo rola mo retar lañe je so just like election lungo lafta mo fulal ndo wala do sabatu nje ko habar kilin siran ko problem ya kilin do fuladin ngol be ka chanda ko ta wala mi ñanta kala election nol fonko attestation nol bar certificate ngol ko be kacha bare be election salta ila mol dol bi jeni dara filo ika kul ke mi kan do manta ni na molen kumandi nka telefon ska nge kumandi ila management and they were courteous enough ni nge kumandi ka sika to mo ke kumandi fo 11 suto ni mol dam molen kumandi si kumandi jokoli Cerno Diallo Sambu Janjay I have to say these things because ya lual tamandi ye nsi kuma ni ko ni problem ni dula kare alla mol be ni ni don silante isa fanya hold the line from police will commandant to lobele ni be diamul and they solve the problems lafta ñene la so bari election banta on ko saying ngam photo in God we trust la ala ko la fe ka control ko aliye menke nga jele ay ñafa bar hanaka bi dafa nga result yem fa result nga control so result din bir nga control nga je ko so ta role bi jele ndata ko ñu result so ta ñu so ta rin so ta karle bi jele nga fere nga rada carte election fay tiling andu nga fa le system min bembulu IEC fa mo soto na IT system is better and more robust than IEC ta so ta ku ken mamminje nga milije taraka fo ñi nit ñi bi je ko ñi okay ñi nit ñi na sabu utumo na ta list supplementary list bondi ko ha on the 8th registration lum follow manjin keno mistakes le milije ñi bondi mo kafuje yo fanam bondi bare bondi rin ko la fanan na ta han kabe mo je male mankitano mankita okay so kataka si ñi ndol ma ser ñi ndol ma kanya so ni kachata wala fu nga naro da man din to je sa mi man account for follow okay mbe kachaka ne sanu nga siga na press conference ngi bulela ngi ndenga ko be ka man na fa mo na fa nkatale nga si ni kacha o ko le telephone fa woye forum o londi mi yalon ko kari kari ika patul be ko mandane other stakeholders nga sika kacha nga solution ni nyola wala mu Gambia di yati.
So but at this point you are confident, like you think IEC is on track under Joe Kolila leadership for now, like you think everything is okay?
No, there are problems, but the main import ko maya wala nim problem je ka sonna nga sid ni ka cha nga solution ni nje han ka problem je man ba follow.
So nying objection and appeal ko me yalon ko pour ka walma ka jibe o karonya for UDP is going to near revising court ni yalon UDP be mol sambala je
nga dul file fa ko ba mita revising court.
Like how many people?
It's over 1,000 people.
1,000?
Yeah, over 1,000 people.
Revising court. So walman kay alfe walman kay to soro nen silol.
Ma soro silol. Dol ma sanyi tanin sey soto. Dol mu lun tangol leti. So mbe bek sama ka revising court la. Okay? So revising court mo kata problem ode. Loi mu ne fo ne lumina restore publish. Ngatil tani nan le soto. Pour kan na petition dundi so list follow bondi karotili woro wala so nyanta ban biile nun karotili mo wanin killing itol mi se ko kunun nem ko hani kunun tam biile mo ntata je nisiran kacare man so ko ta ko fola ba nga nyomoy na so to nyala mo
al nyata som ko biile
na so ko biile last date ko ko la fa il faut la gazette le fa nyata ko ya gazette le non ko la gazette o felenti nga bon nga di ko yal to nyala so
kamanda yo on top of things
kachala nga nyomoy no woto follow fulan jam ko ale min bondi on the 7th wo mo incomplete list let o man o be man taraji ale do bondi ko on the carotil tanni sabo wala wo mo wuli saba keme woro wala tanni saba e min bondi ko wala mo on the carotil se mil registration ke so birale o bondi carotil tanni sabo ale bondi carotil woro wulo o man o burukatale o deadline burukatale So deadline sama commencé ka kondi ka bu karotil tan ni sabol not ka bu til worawulol
for another 14 days.
for another 14 days.
Okay.
Because the fen contest no la mam minje. So alemi bondi say fo nga contest no pour nga contest no ni so do til tan dano la ko deke so continue commencé karotil tan ni sabol. Iko hani. Ko no loi ni ne fo so ka challenge son kata je loi ko wala loi ni ne fo nga jube ño fe nga son kata fo do natala ba ño moy la. Nka chata nganda tulu nganda lo kamalo foye loi ni ne fo ni na nyanta kala te nga be explain ni to ko hana man so ñu sabako fa met. Bari beri jani mi bola je masaka ño moy ko ok yalla men fo nga moy le sa ala tumbulu mba juli jani sama. So o suto e ko benta buti bi ka chaka yalla ko kam fo do UDP fo to nyalem. So bi press release bon ka ko ya ngami ni ka wato men ya wato di. Okay, so nte wo mba fole jarama ka sanu ye balanta kela nga duñ sonko nin kelola ama mo nafa to nyaato mbebe wala noma i sonta ko mboy tale i sonta ko yudi kamen fo to nyaale bije i sonta ko yudi bi man talu wati yakan tolle ma jube kunu nyama kati fana mo le ke advice mille advice ulma advice ken din tol tatan sitan ko nyinni ne mu luwati ni ka chata je folo nga nyoso bake bari ina ta sonko to nyaale mu yele men fo to nyaale mu.
So are you disappointed that in the open, I mean, Molka Memphis UDP is the only party in the open. Me yalanko ibe IEC confront kang ibe ko yitan dikila, whilst other opposition parties probably might be telephone be like kubare mawaje, taking the backseat. Are you disappointed with that?
No, man disappointed because ala entol so min nabia mamo be sola. Mo men be UDP ko bata mo parti do ko ma jang. Momi ngamenti dano na nying IT system ota ngamenti da biring 2021 waye mako ngamin jeno dol ma wosoto ndol biring election o banta on the 4th of December 50 ko mboy tale yen sunya wol won nga do ko commencé ko minte ke la ka kekel bata fo la njan nga do ko commencé kan nañu system o da no system o mi ngare da wala na nga nyim beje. Okay, so IC to ku keno bi mam minje na système o leat nango ke dol mo système o so nak nga do ko mi ta keno la. Okay, nga mol train nyam pour ka do ko ke do parti dol mo mol train o nyam pour ka ke so nta fola nta mo jala ila
so but mol ba fo kan ne di ni nyin do ko jibe e ko UDP e ka maka on commande min carte fayobe kere ñu makin noise dol be je from the NPPN they said the party already know they're going to lose. So janni e bayalo ne be boylale janni mboyo nyimbina be lanyale landi kam pour ka sotarol na fini ni aje mboyta nyinni because it was a useful thing. In fact, one of the guys was saying, UDP when they lose election, they will sit down and say, "Nimu nebe Finland na molka."
Ni wala munung. Nde sila na IC kacha. Na fe alinga fero ke pour election ta nyama. Memo tan mbe fero le lebu ne fe samu nga wuli nga sonka. Ntole ko hani la fe election ta nyama. Ni men ngani sala ko nganyetale silo kan. Ni bo sala ko bo silo kan ita ataku 5 years bayindi.
So at this point, if President Barrow should natare nunko benyen tunku momento nying satrol be ma fara ni President Barrow yal boyal be sonna la ko to nyaa boyle.
Yes, tam boy silo man balana. No, nte balana. Ntolo kole ko ga election ka nyama pour credible, fair and transparent election. Nga election ka ta silo la. Min nganyere sala ko nganyeta min bo sala ko boytale. So ntol ne atan perte son ko lanu. Ndita nga fi nga singa ka nga loi tamande.
Mol ba fo kan da ko UDP pa parade ne pour ka ko ngobondi ongoing coalition discussion mi yalon ko wala be kere they saying partiol be mi yalon ko wala movements and other parties this ko wol mo leti mi yalon ko wol ko candidate led atal ko party led alle ñoo saba wala andal man la fi ka futa wo tungu ngoto koteke bari jama ba wala bulu nal ni tara primaries la your candidate is going to lose.
Yeah, it's possible, yes. And the son no la wala look nkole ko nga kacha nga coalition o londi bari jara nimbe to nya fala ñoy coalition o parti nul kala wala kan hani beri yen sunya 2021 iko nga 238,000 le soto. Okay, bari nyin to balbi male soto mama kandira parti 101,000 euros soto no e sa fal 17,000 ndoli hani beri sunya ko nga 238,000 le soto dolu be nyin tema dol le man carte fay ina man lo campagne le man lo tous la civil society organisation ani NGO yana mote ko ma fanan say ko na iko na place utika ngadi le tambi bang kunya nga bule no mo fana be kala nyadi wote keno la sonto kam en foyen ko look mais problème en kono bi mune on do problème kono wala party led sorry candidate led aran baro ben UDP ika reserve ka bo UDP I look independent.
So sorry Jenny Karanyaro, would it be correct to say by on the 8th of August lungomen tombo Natra nunko alman kambem party led kola UDP for albal withdrawal from this discussion albal kungo bondila.
Yes ndara discussion pour que ñoom pour que coalition o londi ni mo ñoom no mo mettu laje look
that's literally showing Mr. Manneh, like it's my way, no other way, it is my way.
No, it's not that.
But you should be a bit flexible. If not, no other parties.
Mbatu. New coalition diamond. Party say le budget. Okay? Party Lulo, ko party Lero. When we are with us.
Party Lulo.
Ntolu, ADD, PAP, Ibrahim Tabora Manneh.
But he said he's for candidate led. He wasn't on program the other day. And I call a morning wala misrepresentation. He is in for candidate led. The other time he was here.
Okay. With us in party led. Okay? But that's this option. Okay? But I don't think Ibrahim is going to be with us. There is PPP. Okay? So we have those 4 parties, GANU. So with UDP. That's 5. Is 4. Okay? We have those people parties. On the other side, you have APP Sobea, GDC, and now UMC. Candidate led. And then a host of movements. So will not be a candidate led. So they all want to put a coalition against us, put in the minority.
Literally call disarm.
But why is the PDOIS in all this? Because the PDOIS, ne coalition history jibe jam. In as much as you will talk about UDP having participated in coalition negotiation, the PDOIS fananketa kafoldi. Mi alonko ka faramansa numbake. But during this negotiation, mantre jekang.
Yes, PDOIS
they're not very visible as they were.
Invite you go. It's also team Gambia min lola.
Okay.
You only in coalition out. You can solely continue. Now let you be joined later on.
Okay.
But Bria Joko say problem ko saka dunna. Nga moy fanal la taka team Gambia wulindi ko debe. So I don't know how true that is.
So when is the next meeting? Like whatever kala will that be the final meeting? Albal dabula lamento nalman kamben candidate la you find a way.
It's possible. It's possible like a final meeting.
Some are saying you integrating these discussions, like because for the fact that allowing PPP, where the candidate endorse while the discussions are ongoing, itself is wrong.
You see, UDP, I don't
but I think that makes sense because there are ongoing discussions.
No.
It's part of that discussion. All of a sudden they said, okay, we endorse in Dabo, and you allow a whole ceremony to take shape.
GANU and NUP and Keba Madi, they have a coalition.
Yes.
Already,
yes.
Okay? We saw that a number of people, if only 10 of us are talking to form our own coalition for the Fanan. And they bring excuse me because UDP is talking to PPP. GFA was in this coalition talks. They marched with Usman Gajigola party. We don't make a problem today. But very UDP and PPP don't problem. Don't say no problem. When to is a problem. Why? And the ning ayatarango coalition don't so. How long African Union we come in for no? Regional Economic Community will are the building blocks of Africa. Because what ECOWAS be kafunyoma be kata block killing. Na EAC kafunyoma, na Comesa kafunyoma, na SADC kafunyoma, etc. Will be kafunyoma then ni will be na kana be kafunyoma always so no yalla den mo be si kacha. Ning ayata UDP ning PPP nga ning agreement sort. NUP ning GANU ning Keba Madi agreement sort. GFA ning Usman Gajigo agreement sort. Bir kafunyoma I give one big block. So these are not building blocks anymore, they are walls. Walls level. Hangi kafunyoma nga bungolo. bari ito lafta minna wala ngan sembo ne fo bis nga tanga dila nga singa nga wure no mo fota gedo di ajube bin kamen fotem bimbe nyin kelo men na bi pour ay si silo tama UDP da ma ko wala boy andon kuno mbirim ba ke kan PPP na tayi kan support Usman Ibrahima Tabora Manela PAP na kan support ADD na kan support sama ba mo la hay bi betara UDP la coalition tinya kan yet ntol ko le kamen kele so for UDP for banko belam so ñun la takam makoy pour nga kelo ke pour nga silo lo ni banko kan ni ay singa kasha nga ko soto nyokan
so but Gambians will be disappointed natara non ko ale meeting okay ya alman aka grino in fact you know all this while like discussions me alon ko we caring amambono what would have expected men be mediation okay kan ko ñu lokungol men tambita we have passed this stage of candidate led party that nyanda katebe we understand there are some
elements Asan Martin na tajan it to line but ako be sonta candidate lele including UDP on ma soto no so wala na Martin ka finti ka diamu wala na ka finti ka diamu saying because nin ne ngole mo fada mote mo fala mi yalla kon ta jabi nol look coalition na nga lo mo nekama pour nga ñomoy nga agreement beto soto nga parti yo bondi Masakunda ko numbi jebi NPP ka sabana
I think you have been silent for a while. Yeah, I'll come back.
Ning atara manyo moy no woto. The intelligent and smart thing to do is being atam faye. Momo ita katakara dola. Osi kenole. So ntol bam momo tan jawti nyin opposition ko no. Ando altam wala mo attack opposition ko no. Because na focus be is Adama Barrow. But ninga tafana manyo moy no. The Tula Jeka time waste for the campaign. We have to get ready for the campaign.
Okay. You are in the last program, you said something about the ongoing coalition. Kachalmi Yalanko Wallabaki. Boy, this is an opportunity. Puri Manneh if I'm a prayer particular stand seat on the scaffolding. Kachal Mambule del Babala. Yeah, what's your thing?
Yalong bar jaranga yalom beton nal sita kino kundo. Ndeka mimvoe. Nal beko you have one individual pro carbondi because I'm trying banko govern kanku in your opinion. Opposition obe kambendawal. Niye be nyini ngai kanyin kuma kilingolo foye. Now why is it difficult da mawle nyo jibe nyo nyakonte ko nyo ko karile nyanta tambela wala mune yo kolendi. Mi o kolendi bulu then they need to explain that to the people. So ndeka mimfo ndangal nako parti ningol insecurity ya wala soto. The insecurity Lesotho and they're trying to move around it. I think what Tabora told most of them. Majority member UDP Bulu in the opposition wing. Any of these other people, more don't be the near sort of need negotiation table.
Yeah.
Other opposition leaders ningo majority be Bulu. You need to seal a table or a canyon ninka for Karele Betambela for Kareta Tambela. So that's there. So for the mangoli si no etonya fo no nyo nya ko na jibe ko nyo ko ngo nse karile wafino nse karile fengeno nse nyim fengo because all of them will agree any coalition in this country without the United Democratic Party against the Fenko there's no possibility of you winning election.
But one could also argue that if UDP also believe in their powers, let them go into primaries with these other parties.
But it's saying, primaries is a technical term. I cannot have 233,000 votes. So like at a primary, like I send 50 delegates. It me go iman 1,000 test from sort of in election. You also want the same 50 delegates. Come on. I'm unfair.
You saying the format is wrong?
Come on.
But some of the parties also or movements in the ongoing talks, they are saying Dabo is not sellable. In fact, for me, that's what they told me. Said it is going to be very difficult to prove Dabo to be the face of the coalition. There are threats that if he should lead, the other people are going to side with the president. That's the incumbent, and they are going to lose.
So other people who? Other people. The question should have been who. Like for example, near in electoral history in Jibe, Dabo have been tested for 5 times. He couldn't win.
4.
4. This is the 5th time rather. 4. Sorry. Sinyan nani balon lamang ganyeno. But there were no time in which the entire opposition back against Dabo against another candidate.
And Wofana, let's qualify that.
Okay.
Sinya Lulu, Sinya Nani. bari wo wato len no election nolu carte ka boxol basically ta continue Lamin date ndolo ka fole baron da
okay c'est la zag sabol bondije ko jammela contiro but he had an opportunity where accountants were done on spot counting
2021 and we won.
You did not win.
Yeah, no, we won. The Supreme Court won and gave them evidence to show that we won.
No, you did not.
Supreme Court here threw it out.
Those are legal processes. When you participate in a legal process, because you take the outcome. So because the
legal process was
skewed. I would not agree to say because our legal position among women so we are.
No, I think by now they should accept that they lose.
No, of course not. Of course not.
No, it's a defeat.
No, it's a defeat.
Because if you are not in the state house,
de facto ya sunya ya ya nyapinkan. So tell the people state house.
You know, because that's the place that the president should be.
All I know, after 2021, there was state event being done here, and the President Barrow was sworn in as the President of the Republic of the Gambia, come Mitakang to 2020.
So you're swearing upon it, you remember that?
Yes.
You're supposed to swear him at 10 o'clock, you might go 4 o'clock. We saw all of that here.
Won the election.
No, but he stole the election.
But there was also no timeline legally. So, but maybe fella, he lost all the way on record. Even in the history, we'll still teach our Fenkoko they lost. It will still be mentioned in history.
Who writes the history.
Petition.
If the winner writes the history, it is always in his favor. When the hunter writes the history, the lion is always wrong.
It's not President Adam Barrow writing the history.
We are writing our history too. That's why we're saying this. They stole. They
no, part of the history.
But we didn't
we
lose.
will also write that United Democratic Party contested that the election was stolen. They had evidence, but unfortunately, the laws of the Supreme Court said there were technical errors, and as a result, they can't hear the case.
And you know what the technical error was? Hand to hand.
Service and order issues, all those. So that's it. So when even that record also is there. So for me, the United Democratic Party should also have a strategy that they have other explanations to this party why they should join. If the parties want to join the United Democratic led FENCO, those parties that agree, let them agree and form their coalition.
And that's what we're doing.
The other parties, Milia Jekoitel, they want an independent led. Let them form it.
No, but and go already Juwara, there is already a theory, like a research before us, like telling us a coalition against President Barrow. President Barrow is likely to lose. Okay. Now, if there should be no coalition, already Gambinola belief is there will be coalition.
Yeah, but the infinite data, I think sometimes the data in GBL is so simplistic. Even the data outcome, I think, is bigger. In fact, in the data, it's telling you sometimes the people that participated in the data do not have another alternative. But mim fangonata bizarre in the entire data. Kari corruptale, but still me carte failatale. What kind of citizens is that?
Yeah, and you see, you survey, it depends who is behind this survey. There's one coming up probably very soon by Hamster. Watch out for that.
Okay, watch out for that. UDP, I'll just have kilo to la survey.
Very coming for it.
Because 2021 I'll balance Janne. When the reflection
No,
I'll balance
Juwara.
The statement that you people made. I balance
the same thing and those surveys were remote controlled. And
by who?
But it's that
survey. Look,
because the same institution there, la parliamentary survey, the president failed to listen and he faced the consequences.
Absolutely.
Look, Minketa what parliamentary survey, and that's what we're explaining. Bring President Salbotala. When you see someone so come IEC control me nothing. That's when we started developing that system.
Okay.
Sunyaro man keno koteke.
Okay.
Well, na since Botala, every single election, we won. And they could not steal again. Every single election that came, parliamentary, chairmanship, councillors, every single one, we beat them in the popular vote.
Okay.
They got the majority in parliament because of the gerrymandering. They got the chairmanship of 4 regions, same gerrymandering. The bulk of the Gambia lives in our 4 regions. It's over about 70% of the Gambian population lives in our 4 regions. What I'm telling you is, ning eatra manwo kenum pour kanyi sunyaro bannu mo system sorono iparete menanu parliamentary chairmanship ibe sunyaro kenum kala jente fenson ibrahim selo la kon ite fenson la ne kilin soro député banta bente ati ibrahim selo kenum la ko ngambinke ntul ngalonne nin carte foyo banta mo si bulo pour ko kata nyaadi e sunyaro in plan duma wala ya tinyaro ke, and that is what was going to happen again. Nimma the techno ni IC Kaacha. It doesn't mean that IC management is complicit, but there are people in the system who are trying to get this done. Yeah, intelligence on us, we have it on them.
The IC learning and that system a problem in Sotoje. I think part of the database, even in double registration and other issues. For me, if Fengo exists in the database, Amari Tata registration okay dawada, the system should not have even allowed him to proceed registration.
Thank you. Yeah. Can I just say one thing about that? Just one word? Birin data je ni birin ni sada bata je. Ni kan ko ala network ko ala computer are networked iko hani. Ko why? Ninga la ma network mo be several times.
Yes.
Iko no man times pour ko mbare for the next elections. Ko Salima ko we have staff, make Salima ko no yake. We have the staff. You can know it's not necessary, but we got network okay. Ni tata bank, yela ATM card to deal. It's a bank to see kodo boni lata kodo bill account.
Yes.
It's a checkbook that ya cash ni kodo bije.
Yes.
Because network all banks will be network.
The database is network together.
Well, next time airport ita kir ayi bita karang. It's time because they can check your it's networked. Ni I see from phone call network computers motor double digit on.
Yes.
Ni tata your the take you already registered.
Okay, so take out for all together. And what I think is very much promising, cooler me and Nyafa over issues, because one of the most constant thing in politics or governance, most especially the transitioning, is election.
Yeah.
It's more or less the litmus test. But now, if IEC is cooperating with everybody, trying to see certain progress, coming, listening to the opposition party, that is beefing up the credibility or the projected action katadami, which is also in the greater interest of every Gambian. And we commend the United Democratic Party for the actions that they have taken as an opposition over this issue of the IEC. Is well commendable, I would want to say.
Because it's already 7 o'clock, many minutes just rather. But if UDP need to work out from the discussions over, you know, you don't think it serves Barrow better?
It is. It is. If they fail to put up a proper coalition over this and the opposition fragmenter, Barrow will knock them out.
No.
Come to an
no.
Barrow will knock them out. That's my position.
What informed that decision, like, or that opinion?
Go back to the survey in 2021. The survey ruled President Barola based around 33 to 34% of the survey number that was issued, which was later projected into the votes in 2021. The latest survey, Minketa, that baseline increased up to 43%. So there are issues. When survey tema, there are occurrences that the president should also think twice. That is also affecting the likelihood of means study. But one thing I will tell you, the oppositions in this country should come together. That's their advantage. If they fail to deliver that, December would come back and we'll get to the same result if they are not careful.
No way. Look, but what survey, you know, it can be self-fulfilling prophecies. What was survey?
No, I wouldn't agree because I participated in some of the surveys.
No.
I participated in some of the surveys, even that of SEPRAS and that of CRPD.
A survey depends on the questions you ask, how you ask them, and the context in which you have them.
Yes.
So those surveys, we worked on them. There was, in fact, another independent this guy, Tuba Mari.
Okay.
He's a very good data analyst. And we had our issues with him before. But when Tuba Mari started and took it apart, we have nothing else to say.
No, but those surveys are tested in our electoral landscape. Ila survey samples and the information you milk. There might be opinion, but it is tested in the election realities, and they give us that reflection. So that cannot be self-fulfilling prophecies, Mr. Man.
A survey is a snapshot of public opinion at a particular time, and it is conditioned by the questions you ask, who you ask them, how you ask them, and survey is not
it's scientific.
But
it's scientific.
The questions were perfect.
They are scientific.
The questions.
No, they are scientific.
They are scientific if they are done properly and the right questions are. Look, you didn't you predict that Trump was going to lose? Yes, no, they predicted all of that. These surveys are a snapshot of public opinion at a particular time, and the people who control the survey ask the questions they want. I was involved in surveys too, and I know how these things work. You know how they work.
Yes.
So you control the survey they want. It's just like consultancies. You get a consultant.
Yeah. So, but even apart from the survey, like what did the UDP have on the table that that we want to put, like convincing that okay, even without, I mean, if there is fragmented opposition, you can take on Barrow and knock him down.
What we have been doing on the ground, during 2021 band, most of the political parties,
that reality is
there.
there.
We were on the ground from the 5th of December 2021. We continue our campaign.
Oh, we
continue building. We continue doing what we need to do. And the people who are coming to the party, follow Kadoli in the media and the rest, people are coming all the time. We know what we are doing on the ground. And Barrow knows that. Okay,
well,
NPP knows that. They will not say anything other than what they are saying today.
At their end, they say in fact the UDP is in fact reduced because they believe Talib and the core left.
That's what they want to believe.
Yes. Well, but
one thing I will in as much as Keba Madi is a reality to Ala Fraction is a reality to NPP. UMC fan and a fraction from UDP is a reality as well.
UDP, the core electorate doesn't move, and we have it there. We are 4 months from election.
Indeed.
You will see. We are going to win this election even if we go alone. But we will know that if we win these elections, or rather when we win these elections...
UDP winning the election alone?
Yes. But when we win these elections, we cannot and should not run this country alone.
Okay.
We're going to run it with every competent Gambian
that wants to join your.
The best moment to get that funding is just from now during this coalition. Kaacha.
Do you have a boss or you have a SIP?
No, too
So why are you this confident that you're going to win against Barrow?
Because the work we are doing on the ground, one. Two, the economic hardship the governments are going through. You think they're going to vote for Barrow with all that's happening in this country?
Barrow is also talking about his road. He's talking about his...
You see the flooding, you see the flooding that's happening today? You see the flooding that's happening everywhere?
His development, agendas and other issues.
You see the flooding that's happening everywhere on those roads?
Yes.
Nawek bi problem di kamol yajele. And Nawek bi.
Ndefa wani Nawek katunyola wado wade. Ngamre personal issue lesoto with my area.
Nawek,
because...
Biri Amadou Sane nata.
The electricity inequality le
yeah, they put into a 30-year bond. Every year, now 200 million can disappear in their management. But
the SOEs are making profit for the first time. The SOE report is showing that they are making profit.
And we give them $661 million to start to continue running. And they are making $7 million in loss every day.
Yes.
And we got them another $1 billion from one of the local banks here, Abebuluje, Italiano. Afrexim Bank. This government is negotiating with African Bank for another switch, another currency swap for Nawek. World Bank recently, 160 million. Nawek is a black hole. Just like Silol Mikafanya Kongalog, 22 kilometers road, $204 million. OIC secondary roads, $1 million per kilometer. No sul be float how what. Along Batil Harding Jam, Yambujilo Jam. Could sul find Jira because German Tablas or Cadilla Swole Econo. Sukuta is all over social media.
Yes.
People are going through that. And in addition to that, Bankola Koleaka Kafale Luolu Molu mi yalo ko bi mer di mbaya dañi no ñama iman karam mo jonu wa ñama imela jar lo ken wa ñama mol batami ko mo bi ko fo moy bi mo bi yel For example, let me just tell you, Jalambere in the party legislature. Those were for us military committee from Kenoje. We will come command Al Nanang. We're going to those places. We're having meetings and we're getting the.
Well, NPP
there's
is
a
not
groundswell.
That. In fact, they're saying your party is as usual. You transport people, from the key and you gather them and to the street.
What else will NPP say? What else will they say? We saw their meetings. More folk they were paying people control bulu.
Alba mojo la mina na la.
Yeah, kono be tole mutaka molu joye gelegel tawdu la biote molu yo tolto ko to lu ndola molu ko do bon ya dina politique okay. Membe kere nyamba ko ka NPP ya lonne. And they are scared stiff. Ya lonne ko next election they're going to lose. And to let's see, the only chance they had was an election note to the registration. You will try. Sidi Njawala na Sidi Yaba fam fa kanu. Wala na de kata molu kona Senegal, the minors, the foreigners pour kanake register. We have the database. They jube.
So you're taking that to the revising court?
Of course we're taking it to the revising court.
Okay, let's test the revising court. Because for Ngajele, most often than not, Niba Jibeka, revising court has not been tested to that level. So let's give it an opportunity. This time, if the evidence of what UDP members claim can be, so that
we hope that they will just look at the cases properly and not bring technical cases in adjudicate. We're avoiding using as a technicality against us.
No, but technicality is on the revising court to follow.
And we're doing everything put revising court here be jube. Okay? But even without revising court, look, revising court I'm more siabaki. Okay? It's 1,000 plus something, The bulk of the registration minketa is what is going to determine what's going to happen in the elections in 2026.
Bulk of what registration?
Supplementary registration.
Okay.
The bulk of them are not going to revising court. Because kelele watu no ikamolmi samana pour que register ala kenna molti on social media trying to prevent them registering minors, trying to prevent them registering foreigners. Do fon yafe antema lu tawalti ngiatele ko tanita dol ka borre kata oli portali tata dol be registration no fonko voter roll kono bi ole minje isnanan koteke dol bi je ko yami lata wolu kan andi Gambia ñing road clearing issues ñing nawe problème taban na jang ipina ko mbilia fayenu foreigners ya fayi ma bijita fayle bi doltina mu doltina bonan Senegal or la kana ka to fayi o te kela so a lot of people this 960,000 budget mimba fayle je that is tamina 600,000 one two
so that's your projection in 2021 it's remember for the turnout was 89%. You believe that? But turnout in high turnout in democratic countries. But what But the competent institution leo fintindi.
The
competent authority leo fintindi.
The authority entrusted with the elections.
Yes.
Competent, I challenge them.
No, they are competent authority.
Very European Union nataja. Yemuna foye. I'll result on the polling station by polling station. 21 legi nikaona.
Okay.
Last year nataja 2025. What are the results? Polling station by polling station. Handkaba finti. It are finti ndila. No, they know what happened.
No, but what I'm saying, competent in the sense that
yes,
they are the institutions authorized by the
I'm just playing on the words there. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. What I'm saying is, I'm playing on the words that they are not, they are competent by the law you put them in place.
That's my point.
They're incompetent in terms of
performance. Okay, we lose 20 or we were divided in 2021 election, but we are prepared. For 2026. Men keda kunwa kana senga yembwendi because Baro has been charged for like 5 years. Sure, Mr. Dawo is a pipeline, Baro is at the state house, and he's the president.
Are you an agent for Baro or what?
No, not that. No.
Not yembwendi yen sunya sotako yen sunyale.
Okay.
Mankuno woto. You kill it.
No, you can argue with yen sunyale.
Yes, of course.
As independent views, we look at
No. There is no independent view.
No, that's independent. Perhaps I have not taken time to study the cheating part with the United Democratic. So from your end, from United Democratic Party and the opposition, you can be saying Yen Sunyal.
I can accept that.
I look at the data the way it comes to me. Unless if my focus was trying to look at the loopholes that have happened over time, which I have not done. So from what is announced and what is legitimate as it is.
Yeah, I can accept that. But if I can accept that, you should also be able to accept the fact that that was your idea. But if we give you another set of factors, you should be able to look at that also and make up your mind after that.
Indeed, if I have that, if I have the set of data that you're talking about over what has, definitely it might condition the way I think moving forward.
Prepare for that. And ngaminke ngalonne gusuri sunya role
so fana be min kagale fana wala
to le min kam pour ka mol hakilo falen kay sanjira ko yinde be kerim banko kan mol kan katalo ka fini wallahi ala hako boyndi it mean for about you ngajel ko tonya tije ngajel ko to le tonya kan ngajel ko nyul be kuru yamen kan people stand and tell us let's me ko mikata no je ko mbiron keno je
let's see 2026 how it goes ahead
thank you so much Mr. Manneh, thank you for coming, thank you Mr. Juwara for coming,
thank you
ala baraka bake. That was a nice program. Hope albemura nan ko daga nga program lo Juwara. I think it I need to keep you for this program you know for before the end of this summer, you know, you know, you have to be here with me. But thank you so much for coming. Yeah, na tere nungo kumobe bulela fa mem fola jibirala alal hako tunye akamunda watu tata bake malano yeleno puru nale kacha. But we hope next week inshallah ni mutana melano yella puru nga kacha watu le tata bake tala wora wala sira janne fa pare fata mi dafa so wanyama akamunda nyanda molol bulala tele sey wanyama bari nsi bula drum e sarodi molla fo talata nala inshallah ngana ni moko tengol fane kacha Mr. Manneh, thank you once more for coming.
Même for the wala mo IEC manken to jawdi manja soto nyim banko kan la tamina do nga tonya tamandi mo men carte fayo kay tonya kan min kanyata ganye min fota ta next time batu okay lafta wala ne IEC be kacha kan follow fulan jam gambian ko lambi banko kan to fula moy ko teke mo be wala ni sara marse kamin tariji itele yalo ila karambunjo ila kuranjo ila loptane mo ko lambi banko ba mo kumpa mo be wala fayele so mala gamelo si fan kong to the point that yim fay ñuli nga moy de fangol lote ko nit ñi ngagné ko next time kala one party state ko be moy jan so to lus gamelo so na pour bu la ñim bata fangol ko ba I don't think so gamelo le ke bata min takibi moto fala moy so ngalu be fankal le yim carte fay kanyum sakunda ko rombondi ni UDP nata ntol ko ele ko nin al ntol sindi wa fala metam fay mané ba ne ngalu disappoint ali fanan bondi je atol tam masakunda yenda sila la carte fay la bayna sila masakunda so atol tam la carte atol tam masakunda tlaka di karfa molal Allah tam karfa la min milka fale ko bika masa soso hani alquran mo fo moy non tan no kila sallallahu alaihi wasallam tam kan ko lu kele lanu non te Ibrahim ning ala falte dum non la ko di noye men fo la nga tonya tamandi nga tonya fasa son tol be wala kambi mo be ala tonya be dame min mawlo fane katuli fa wala barbutun sama ko le mo tabulu la mo yewoto parce que ngamel gamel to sonna wala I believe that kate fa la UDP le nga gagné any banko lo silokan usenda ko sanjilul rong ay ta aslo alo silokan ay ta
president baroka ka mol ni ne
ate wala fa ba ate bota 3 sa bota 5 years kay ate wala ate so to le fono
baraka ba thank you so much. Yes Juwara
baraka bake lamor lal mbe hakadane la fanam mang line o yele nyami pro some of them say react nga kuma kangal mem faja comment ka mem fodron the entire agenda of what nga discussion soto is in the best interest of the Gambian people pour kaje ko mbe Gambia falin no la nyame wala na interest so mbe mobe tentula mbe Mr. Manneh fanan tentula bake and I think this is the first time na a platform share or even meeting him directly in person so aning wo other issues so that's it and the topics as well an opinional sound around it. I think one thing also I would just want to say finally when I was saying there was no direct foreign policy in the Gambia. Yes, Dabo has picked certain efforts in trying to save, but notwithstanding, it still persists that Gambia do not have any plain strategic foreign policy around around it relatively wo mukulati min sotota, but there are individual efforts mil keta mil yalanko they can be recommended over time. Even jame fango in the foreign policy sway nyaming to get recognition and also move over time fire fango kundino. If you read is it Senghor, the Gambian foreign policy over time, you've seen a strategic to certain decision also nyaming, but however I think we need to rethink na foreign policy action, and wo do no be min can be is President Adama Barrow pour yaje ko most especially nina recent fenko with Senegal pour kaje ko moving forward. Senegal do not disrespect our sovereignty kuo kube kala je Senegal instrumental bijele silol bijela sa tamano min nga wat tambindin ni tema pour badi yami ben ni tema we tenten wala kumayata.
Baraka bake, thank you Juwara, thank you Mr. Manneh. Ala baraka bake fo talata nala inshallah ngadang continue program wala wonyama ala baraka.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriCell mobile money just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning, your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Looking for the perfect home away from home in the Gambia? Welcome to BC's Residence, your ideal short stay apartment in the heart of Bundum. Whether you're visiting for business, pleasure, or an extended stay, BC's Residence offers you the comfort, convenience, and privacy you deserve. Enjoy spacious, well-appointed accommodations in a peaceful neighborhood just behind Nusrat High School. Our residence combines modern amenities with authentic Gambian hospitality, ensuring your stay is both comfortable and memorable. At BC's Residence, you are not just booking a room, you're finding your perfect base to explore all that the Gambia has to offer. Ready to book your stay? Contact us today. +220-941414. BC's Residence at gmail.com. BC's Residence, Bundum, behind Nusrat High School. Your comfort is our priority.
Traveling has never been this simple in the Gambia. Oh yes, you don't need to visit the GTSC depot just to get a ticket. Just download the Yona Wallet app today and enjoy hassle-free bookings. With Yona Wallet, you can buy your GTSC bus ticket right from your phone, anytime, anywhere. From Kanifing to Dakar, Dakar to Banjul, or upcountry routes like Kanifing to Basse and Basse to Banjul, Yona Wallet has you covered. No queues, no stress. Just safe, fast, and convenient ticketing at your fingertips. Choose comfort. Choose convenience. Choose GTSC with Yona Wallet. Yona Wallet. Your money, your way. GTSC. Moving the nation forward. For more information, please call 1124 or 221-1668.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.